Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4PlayerNetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4Player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy. Podcast. This is episode 615. It is September 26, 2019. My name is Nick Henderson, and to my right is Brad Simons.
How's it going?
Weak, Brad. Weak. Nolan Hedstrom.
How's it going, everybody?
Christopher Davis.
Good evening.
And Crispy will be joining us shortly, but we have lots of games to talk about because, of course, you may have noticed we did miss a show last week, so it's been kind of piling up, right? September has been absolutely stupid insane for game releases, so we have a lot to cover. We're going to talk about Untitled Goose Game. We're going to talk about Gears 5. We're going to talk about fucking Link's Awakening, among other things. So let's get to it. There's a couple things I want to mention, of course. If you're watching us live, you may have noticed we're a little bit more professional. Just a smidge.
5%.
A smidge more professional than we've ever been before. We finally took the plunge and we purchased new headphones. We can now hear ourselves talking.
Yeah.
In our ears, our ear holes.
If I close my eyes, it sounds like I'm just doing an online podcast.
I know. It's kind of nice. So, of course, I want to send a big shout out to, all of our supporters on Patreon and Twitch for helping us afford these things, because without you guys, we wouldn't have been able to drop the cash and make this happen. So, I think this is going to be great. I also want to send a personal shout out to Kenton and Soup Nazi, who are both instrumental in helping me kind of sort this out and figure this out, because obviously, like we've said many times before, we're not audio engineers, so we reached out to people in the community who may know more about audio than we do, and they were able to give us lots of good suggestions, which has brought us to this point in time where we now have all these fancy headsets. We look about 5% more ridiculous while we're recording, but it's going to sound better at the end. So, who was that?
No. I think Chris needs to channel his inner Tay-Zonde.
I know. That was one of my fears.
Wow.
I can hear you.
But see, this is a fear that's good, because now you know how to podcast.
Why are you doing this, Brad? You're making me
You
uncomfortable.
gotta pull away from the mic to breathe.
That's the chocolate rain.
Oh man, there's gonna be a little bit of an adjustment period as we're getting used to these. But hey, once again, big shout out. Thank you guys to everybody who helped us afford these. We really appreciate it. I also want to give a quick update on Patreon. As you know, we're working towards doing our next Project M. We are officially 5 patrons away from 150.
Oh my god!
And doing
5.
doing our next Project M. So if you're whether you want to pledge
in December,
when I mean nothing comes out in December ever.
Yeah, things come out in December.
Except for us prepping for fucking games.
Yeah.
Fuck that. We're gonna play a game all day on the stream.
Can it be a 2019 game?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's race.
Like, what's the one game we all didn't play this year and we want to make sure we play it? Let's race through that.
That's inspired.
We legitimately had a discussion about that, though.
It has been suggested in our personal discussions. But yeah, we are. Once we hit 150 patrons, we're going to do our next Project M. If you haven't been around very long, look it up. We've done 2 of these so far. It's basically we sit down in a room together and we race through a game.
Death Stranding.
No.
No.
We've done Ocarina of Time. We've done Super Mario 64, and they're usually a lot of fun. So we're going to do our next one as soon as we hit 150. So
not as soon as this year.
The second we hit it.
The second we hit it is when the official planning and preparations begin.
Yes.
So
by the way, I do go on weekends from October 18th to October 20th to November 18th, I think. So.
Okay, good to know. So it's going to be
not in that month.
If we hit 150, it'll probably happen in
December.
But we will let you know what we will finally decide on what game we're going to play. We will let you know what it's going to be and when we're going to do it, and we're going to start putting together ideas and stuff, and we're going to plan it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want to pledge, whether you're $1 or $3 or $10, it does not matter. They all help us hit the goals. So if you're interested in supporting us on Patreon, go to patreon.com/4player. And if you just want to be a part of the community and talk to people about video games, go to discord.gg/4player. So
5 people could be in chat right now, and they could just give us $1.
$5 more dollars.
And we would have to announce Project M3.
Yes. Correct. But now, let's move on. Of course, we want to open the show, as we always do, with feedback from our last episode. So I'm going to start with a comment from Fourth Horseman from our last... This is from 2 weeks ago. Yo, Brad.
So,
Never stop tormenting the crew with kid show things. As a parent who had to suffer through things like Word Party, it always makes me laugh how clueless they are.
word party.
They really need to join the party that just begun. There's a word for what they could have... For what they could have had,
And that word is fun.
Oh my god, that's a quote from the show.
Word party. Yeah, he's singing the song.
I thought he was just... Oh my god, okay.
I like when Bailey, the elephant, or Bell Bell, as Lulu calls him, sings his song under the tree. He's kind of like he's an elephant, which kind of means he's the fat kid. And like sometimes when they're playing outside, he's like, I just like to sit on my rock under the tree while everybody else is playing around. And then he starts singing a song about the applesauce sky, and it's pretty great.
All right, I'll get... As soon as I finish watching The West Wing,
And then
maybe have a child.
And maybe have a child. So Mr. Scorpion says, I resent these claims on this week's podcast that I murdered Chris Thacker and stole his identity. I definitely never commit such an act, and I certainly wouldn't proceed to hide the body deep in those backwooded areas littered with wild animals. So the body just seemingly disappeared forever. That's just unfathomable. I think we're talking to Chris Thacker from Kincaid, West Virginia, guys.
Chris Thacker.
Allegedly.
On a serious note, great podcast this week, guys. Appreciate all the laughs. A quick question for Nick, though. Have you seen the planned DLC for Control? Specifically the one called AWE, which shows Alan Wake in the imagery, heavily implying a potential crossover. What are your thoughts on this? Let me just say this. As someone who played through Control and spent a long time like just kind of picking that world apart and like exploring every nook and cranny.
Picking.
There are all... Yes, first of all...
Picking.
Picking. It can be like popping all the
Yeah.
There are... Yes, I have seen the DLC, and it is heavily alluded to an Alan Wake crossover, but if you've played the game and you've explored that world and read all the notes and like found all the clues and stuff, there are already like many direct allusions to events of Alan Wake in Control. So like it's practically official that these two games take place within the same. Like it's really cool. Like, oh god, I don't want to go into it because it is particular. Like,
you're already spoiling stuff. Hey Nick, let me ask you something. Can I just like use like your Epic Game Store account and play Control on my computer? Does that work?
I don't know.
I mean, you're not playing anything on Epic Game Store.
I have surprisingly played 3 games on the Epic Game Store this year. I don't even play PC games. I played Observation, Control, and Outer Wilds on this year.
Interesting. I would love to play Control.
I mean, if that works
on my PC.
If that works, then yeah. I mean,
well, we can't Steam share, so
Brad, if you want, I did keep my PS4 copy, and they have patched it. If you would like to borrow it.
Oh no, I want to play your PC version.
Well, I'm saying if the PC thing doesn't work out, I'm saying I have a PS4 copy.
Just change the password to 4Player rules. And then I'm
definitely not going to do that.
I'll just log into your account and download the game and play it.
All right. Drew327 says, Nick mentioned GameStop ending up renting games in the future. Remember their canceled plans for that. It was going to be $60 for 6 months, as many used games rented as you want, one at a time, and at the end of the 6 months, you would get a used game to keep. I was ready to drop GameFly, but then it never happened.
I remember them talking about that.
I remember like discussions and stuff about that happening. That would have been pretty cool, but you know... That who knows what the fuck's gonna happen to GameStop now? It's not looking good.
I mean, there might be like some legal things that you have to do. Since
I would imagine so.
Since they're considered a pawn shop for tax purposes.
Yeah.
It's probably something along those.
And our last comment comes from Slopdog. He says,
Slopdog.
He says, interested to hear what Nolan's thoughts are once he gets deeper into Hunter x Hunter.
Oh.
Is it Hunter x Hunter?
No.
Hunter Cross Hunter?
No, you fucking fool!
Hunter!
It's Hunter!
You don't say the X!
Well, that's dumb.
Evidently, people get very angry about
Which is weird because Japan's like obsessed with using the word cross.
Of course they would. Fucking yes, so is Sony apparently. I enjoyed it a lot, and it's got some great moments full of hype and emotion and in-depth characters. It's definitely a series that mixes the best but also worst elements of the shonen genre.
I'm only about halfway through the first season. That being said, the first season's like fucking like 70
Isn't
episodes.
that show like older?
So it originally came out I think in the late 90s, and then they redid it
Okay.
in like 2011. They like redid the entire show.
Because I played that DS like Smash Brothers game that used all the Shonen Jump characters, and I remember that Hunter x Hunter dude from that
Which
game.
one?
The one who wears the
Gone?
spiky hair and the green
His name is
outfit.
Gone.
Gone.
All right, 2 more things real quick to mention. He says Crispy was very eloquent when he was talking about how the U.S. treats unions and the people that want to unionize. A sad state of affairs for workers. Crispy's not here to comment on that, but yes, he was very eloquent. And lastly, that question and y'all's responses about using lore to explain lewdness in a game was brilliantly funny. Same with that childhood injury question. Love it when you guys tell non-gaming related stories. All right, we'll keep that in mind for future consideration. Again, thank you.
I have a non-video game related story. I've been thinking about what I'm going to dress Henry as for Halloween, and he's been watching a lot of Princess and the Frog. So, you know how last year I had a video game outfit and a non-video game outfit? One was picked by me, one was picked by my wife.
Uh-huh.
I was like, hey,
She picked the video game
he
one,
should
right?
be the frog from Princess and the Frog, right? But then I get him a cape and a sword, and he could be Frog from Chrono Trigger.
That's pretty dope.
Boom! Same outfit.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Same outfit.
Save you some money, too.
Yeah.
Nice. Good plan, Brad. Of course, guys, if you want to comment or chime in on any of these conversations we're about to have right now, leave us a comment at 4playernetwork.com on the post for this episode, and we will read it at the beginning of next week's show. And last thing I want to mention before we get into the impressions, because I forgot to mention a second ago, but I just posted yesterday 2 podcasts that I've been meaning to get up. One was our first episode of the Revival Club, where Brad and I talked about Devil May Cry 3. It is up. It's a short wrap-up to that game. We talked a bit about how Devil May Cry 3 is holding up in a post-Devil May Cry 5 world. And then, of course, I recorded a 4Player Plus with Ed, where we talked about all the sweet games he played at PAX West. So those are both available now. Check them out. And we're playing Fear now on the Revival Club. The original Fear. What are you doing over there, Brad?
Why hasn't Nolan opened this and posed this? And
I'm a bit busy, Brad. Because I want to get like some sort of case to put it in, because I don't want to pose it and then just have it sitting out, because it doesn't get
What is
dust
it?
on it.
Like Shadowbox?
Fine.
It's yeah, like a shadow box. It's a spike from Cowboy Bebop. I forget the official term for them.
Nendroid?
No.
this is Nindroids are the Nindroids. They're the big chibi ones.
I like
Yeah.
it. We're all aware of the noises now that he's making every time he shakes
It's a
the butts.
figure art.
Yeah, figure art.
Fig art.
It's
Figure art.
essentially a posable spike, and he has
Yeah.
different like hands
Yeah.
and faces and shit like that. So I do have, Brad. I have a swordfish coming. Swordfish's spikes.
Like a
ship.
John Travolta.
Exactly.
Oh my
Swordfish?
God,
I would
no.
have gone with like
Halle Berry?
like Hugh Jackman.
We all
Oh
went
my
very
God.
different directions on that
Yeah.
one.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously Halle Berry.
I finally watched John Wick
I mean-
3.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I've Swordfish was Spike's ship from Cowboy Bebop, and I
I-
have one of those coming.
Yeah.
I watched Hustlers
Oh.
Why?
because it looked good, and I heard good things about it, and it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything like Halle Berry?
Yes. Yes. My God. Yes. But yeah, aside from that too, it's also a pretty well-made movie. But yes, yes,
Yeah.
Nolan. Yes,
I'm just
I do recommend. Anyways, are we ready to talk about video games? We got lots to cover. Yes, we do. We got a lot to cover. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to start with the game that we were going to talk about last week, and we didn't get a chance to. We have Chris Davis on the couch here temporarily, so let's take this opportunity and run with it. Y'all are welcome to go sleep now if you want. We're going to
I
talk
thought
about.
we were gonna start with the Goose
You
game.
saying we're gonna roadie run with it?
Oh God!
Get off the
Stop
couch.
it.
No,
I really am
not
leaving.
Nolan.
What?
Nolan's,
locked
Fuck
in.
you!
Nolan's safe. Chris Davis, you must leave the room.
Boo.
Get out of here!
Let's just talk about Gears 5 for a minute.
Yes, 1 minute. I'll do the countdown.
Maybe
Nope.
5. Okay, I played all the way through this mostly because, one, I got the Xbox Game Pass and it was free on there, and I needed to finish something because I was starting to really stress out about the number of games that I were piling up that I hadn't. I was like, I can blow through Gears 5.
It was a
pretty quick.
2-digit number for you at that point. Yeah.
Yes, I mean almost, but I needed to play something, so I went with Gears 5. And albeit as someone who hasn't touched Gears since Gears of War, oh no, Butters,
Damn it,
no,
Butters.
put down the squeaky toy. As someone who hasn't played Gears of War since the second one, I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I don't think I played 3.
Wait, you haven't played it since 2, but you said this is the best in the series.
Well,
but
no,
you're
sorry.
not qualified to say that.
I played a little bit of 3. I didn't finish 3, and then I skipped Judgment, and I played about 3 or 4 hours of 4.
So basically, you're an expert
Basically,
on Gears.
yeah. I mean, I'm basically.
This looks pretty cool.
So I'm that comment I made, Brad, based on the fact that the other ones couldn't even hold my attention long enough to finish them.
What is this?
Okay, I got through this game. What you're seeing right now on the screen is probably the most unique thing about this Gears game, which is both a good thing and a bad thing.
Brad, don't you remember when the Resistance had to stand up to the Empire on the planet?
Or the Terminators, or...
Terminators? The fuck are you talking about?
You guys are the worst. What you're seeing on the screen right now is like the most unique thing about this game, and it's these like open sections where you're on this skiff, right?
Yeah, skiff.
And I will say this: as far as controlling vehicles, this skiff is like one of the most joyous like vehicles.
It's pretty fun.
It is fun. Too bad there is nothing to do on it other than just like
skiff around.
Like,
yeah, there's not a whole lot to do with it. It's really just a mode of transportation. That's
it's just
about
a mode of transportation, and it looks really pretty, and it controls really well. I just wish there was more like. There's a few segments where you have to like navigate some like crazy shit happening on the screen, but like for the most part, it is just wandering around these big open areas.
So does the open world stuff kind of like not work in this game?
I mean, there's really no like random encounters or things like that. It's more like, this big open map, but you go to certain parts of the map to find side
I'm trying
objectives.
to think.
It's funny because there was a time when we were like, "Oh, Gears of War is getting kind of stale. Oh, God of War is getting kind of stale." They can't actually just put out another one of these games. They have to do something different. We're like, "How about if they go open world?" And it worked really well for God of War, and maybe not so well for.
Well, this is definitely. I would never classify this as an open world game. It is.
Open ended.
It is a linear ass game with like 2 chapters that have an area where you can with like literally you look at a map and there are there's like points of interest and you can kind of go around to this thing and they're just like branching paths that go off the area and like and they basically lead you to a firefight where you can get to. Once you get through the firefight, it gives you like an upgrade piece or something that you can use.
Mainly for Jack.
Yeah, Jack, which is the robot that follows you around and whatnot. Which Jack is pretty cool. I really like Jack because like he can fetch things for you and you can upgrade him and gives you all kinds of different ways to use him in combat. And a lot of those things are based around things that you find in these like branching path areas. But like they're all the same. You find an area, you go down a path, you shoot a bunch of dudes, and then you find the one thing, and he's like, "All right, let's get back to the skiff." You're like, "Oh, I guess I found everything over here."
Okay.
So you just backtrack to the skiff and go to the next one.
Nick, okay, so here's my next question. Then tell me why this game is good.
It's Gears.
Okay.
It's good old-fashioned Gears.
I will say this.
Whoa.
This is like, as far as like Gears gameplay goes, which, admittedly, I've never been a huge fan of Gears. Like, I thought it was cool in the first game, but like it lost its appeal to me a long time ago. And what I played of 4, I wasn't really feeling it. And this, like, they've introduced enough interesting enemy types in this game, and
like what?
Like they have these like, and maybe these were in other games that I'm just not aware of.
Gears 4 probably.
I forgot what they're called.
You about to say robots?
They're robots.
Yeah, they were in 4.
But they've been taken over by these like leech creatures and shit.
Yeah.
And like they're like shut down or whatever. And if you get close to them, you make too much noise. They wake up, and you can sneak around and like yank out their batteries and shit without.
Yeah, there's a limited stealth element that they've added to this game.
Is his mic on?
I would hope so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Tap your mic real quick. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just get up in there, buddy.
Get all up in there.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I'll
this is
I'll
why we have
non-Tezonde this.
This is why we have headphones now.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of it.
No, there's a limited stealth element they've added to this game that comes up in several segments. So yeah, with the robots, they'll be like stationary and kind of, or maybe like mini patrolling an area.
Yeah. And
you can sneak up behind them. You can pull out their power supply and instantly kill
them.
And
there's variety in the enemies, but like at its core, like this is so. I was really hoping, or not. I was not expecting, but I was hoping that this game would introduce something that would make it
elements
that would make it feel less like Gears of War. But this is like so. This is so Gears.
It is. I would say.
And let me just tell you, like by the end of this game, I was exhausted and I was just like ready for it to be over. But I was enjoying it for like the first half. Like it's got some interesting like story bits going on. Like I actually really like Kate as a protagonist. I think she's great. I think she's a great kind of replacement for Marcus. And like what's going on, her story is interesting, but like it never really goes anywhere. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, they're already setting up a sequel.
Yeah,
like,
it ends on a
okay.
cliffhanger that feels a little too early.
Yeah. It's,
Okay. Well, I have an inappropriate question for you.
oh, wonderful. I can't wait for these.
Well, not that kind of inappropriate. What's better, this or Control?
Control. I'm sorry. I'm speaking for myself. I don't know.
So this won't make your top 10.
Are you saying the Control's going to make my top 10?
You said barely, maybe.
Oh, it's what's gonna happen.
You made it.
Dude.
You made it sound like Control's like a 7.5
What? I did? You think
and 8.0.
You think my discussions make Control sound like a 7.5? I'm starting to worry about how I describe things around you, Brad. Sometimes.
Hey, I got headphones now. I'm hearing things clearly, and it sounds like you hate Control.
Oh,
I would say one of the points of contention about this game is the fact that it's 3-player co-op instead of like 2 or 4.
I was originally planning on playing this with Chris Davis and Jaeger.
Yeah,
But then, like, it turns out that like one person had to play as the robot. What's up, Crispy? Just take a seat for a second. We're talking about Gears 5, and then we'll
Take a seat.
we'll get you.
No, the word is it's bad.
it's good.
7.5.
Bitch.
Is it fashion?
Is it fashion? What does that mean?
well, Crispy, I'll tell you, it's not very cash money.
I will say this. This shit is cool. The skiff stuff
and
is
the
cool.
weather patterns are pretty fun.
Wait.
The
It
central
looks
weather
cool.
patterns are cool.
Look at this fucking shit.
Okay.
Lightning is striking the ground, which is
That-
It looks
causes
pretty
these,
cool.
like,
Yeah.
salt stalks to rise up where the lightning struck.
But let's
But,
be
like,
clear
it's-
about this.
it-
and
Now,
but
this-
also fire tornadoes and shit.
But,
it's
like,
a set piece, though.
it's
This
a
is a
set
set
piece.
piece. This is
Yeah.
a set piece. It
Who
only happened.
captured this footage?
I did.
You did this shit on purpose to make this look cool and unique. But
Well,
it's
this
not,
is one of the most unique parts of the fucking game.
This is the best part of the game.
I mean,
No,
it
it looks
is
pretty cool.
it is a standout moment in the game for sure.
Now this is pod racing.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Now there's a no. I was
It
gonna
looks
say,
cool.
The thing about Jack is that he's the third
Jack.
player co-op character, but he's actually pretty fucking cool to play as.
Oh, so you ended up playing as him?
Yeah, I tried him out. He can fly around the environment. He can go to areas where other players can't, and like find like hidden items like weapons and stuff.
the robot?
Yeah,
Who names a robot Jack?
they've all
I mean,
been
it's
Jack.
it's part of the story. Like they give him they give him people names.
Oh.
But you know what? I wouldn't have finished this game if it was.
You know why they called him that?
Oh God.
So when you turn him off,
Oh no. Nolan went there.
you just say, "Hey, Jack, off."
I get it. And then
We
you
get the
furiously
joke. We get the
masturbate.
joke.
You
I
know,
would have named him.
clearly
something different.
we don't need to spend much time because like there's nothing we can say that's going to convince you guys to play.
No, I mean
Because,
it's
like-
not that. It's just we're not just gross fucking Xbots.
Yep.
I mean, I'm just kidding. I also played a Gears game. I played through the first one and some of the second one. That's about as much as you, fucking Nick. I played a little bit of Gears 4 too. I heard Gears 3 is a beloved entry in the Gears series.
Gears 3 is my personal favorite.
Yeah.
Really?
It's got 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
The story actually goes places,
Yeah.
and it's a satisfying conclusion to the series.
You know what I will say about this game though, and maybe
And there's a scene where Cole's like playing football or something.
Yes, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
this game for the first time I feel like in the series, in my experience with the series, this game has good weapons, like really fun to use weapons with a lot of variety. Yes, like a lot of the guns have like alternate fires, and like there was like 4 or 5 guns in this game that I found to be incredibly fun to use. That it made it really hard to kind of decide what to swap out.
The overkill.
Nick's like, I'm a Gears expert.
No.
They have this new gun with a chainsaw on it. It's so cool.
There's a
No, you know what's funny? I played this whole game. I never chainsawed anybody. In fact, I was barely
that's
ever.
the best part.
I was barely ever using the Lancer with the chainsaw on it. I was using the one that like it fires this like the alternate fire is it fires like a thing into the sky and then like showers fucking like
Urine.
explosives down on
Oh
them.
yeah, the Lancer grenade launcher.
Yes.
When's that
thing was-
Gears Tactics come out? That could be cool.
Yeah, they've been quiet about that.
Is that different from the Funko
Uh-oh.
game?
Yes,
it's an
yes.
actual PC tactics game
Yes.
like XCOM.
Interesting.
But no,
Maybe.
There's also, if you search through the maps, you'll find relic versions of each weapon that have like bonus and special abilities that make them just outshine anything
and
else.
it's cool. But like I found 2 of those. So anyway,
Yeah, that's why you gotta fucking search the map.
I did. I did everything you could do in the like open areas.
Are you sure?
Because those were like my favorite parts of the game. Because obviously I love open-ended shit, and like that was like I was like, oh, open shit. I was really hoping Gears would like all of a sudden it would be like this is a horror game now or something. But no,
it's never going to be that.
I know, but that's what I was hoping. But anyways, let's move on. Gears 5 is pretty. If you like Gears, it's pretty dope. I think it's a good return to form for the series. As someone, Brad, who you so eloquently pointed out, has no business saying that about the series.
I've never been able to get into Gears since.
If you
want
to have a good, fun co-op experience, this is a good one for the year.
And I didn't play it co-op, so I missed out on that part too. But it was pretty.
I got a good game you could play co-op: Monster Hunter Iceborne.
All right,
That's not on the dock.
Chris Davis, let's talk real quick about your game of the year.
Wait! I
2019.
know we're not going to talk about it yet, but I've been kind of holding this one, and by the time we get to it, I might just forget about it. But
I don't know what he's doing. He's going off
Yeah,
script.
me either.
Astral Chain. Sorry, go ahead.
That was it.
That's it.
That's what you wanted to get out.
No, sorry.
Keep working on that.
Astral Chain. That's it. That's the joke.
All right, good joke. Let's talk about your game of the year 2019, Christopher Davis.
That's not far off.
What is it
honestly,
called
right now?
What's the title of this game?
And that's the catch. Untitled Goose Game.
I can't believe they ended up keeping that as the title. But hey, Untitled Goose Game is a thing, and it's the new hotness. I'm assuming you brought footage.
I brought some delightful footage.
I'm assuming you've already finished this game too.
Yeah.
I finished it on the feed. I finished and started it on the feed.
It's 2 hours long, so.
Wow.
But no
one looks at the footage.
so-
Wow.
So
But it
it's
looks
a
cool.
delightfully styled puzzle game in which you are an asshole goose that is wandering around an English village.
Please, you're a goose.
Yeah. Well, I guess that goes without saying.
You
'cause
don't need
goose.
to add asshole to the front.
And the
You're a
entire
goose.
point of the game is to complete a to-do list of things to harass people with. And
How does the goose read the to-do list?
I
Sorry, I don't mean to derail. Goose,
the goose.
you're doing a to-do list.
This is what you do. You go around the environment. You have a to-do list of things to harass people about, like,
it literally
steal his
crosses
fucking
like he
keys.
steals the keys and then like crosses it off the list. I like that.
Get the groundskeeper wet. He goes in the water, and I clear off a to-do list item. No,
This is
it's
a determined groundskeeper.
first off, this game is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, I do.
The animation for the goose, just way it's walking around like right now, it's hilarious. It's so good.
Character of the year. I can see it coming.
Oh, people are there's people joke, but there's been like very long threads on Reset Era that are like, we need to have the horrible goose be a character in Smash. I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
Sure.
No, you're going through. It's a series of.
Does the whole thing
puzzle
take place in
rooms,
this
basically.
garden? It's like,
No, this is the first area.
everything I've ever seen in this game is taking
Well,
place.
yeah,
in
they're
the
not
garden.
going to show
Yeah,
too much. They want to keep it a secret.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it
All right, fair
because
enough.
the places you go and the things you do just
Space.
get
I bet
more
you
and
go
more
to
funny.
space.
Go to space.
No, they're saving that for the sequel. But by God, that would be amazing.
There will be a sequel. And
Yeah,
it
so,
will go places for sure.
So yeah, you get a list of like 7 or 8 different goals to do in an environment. You complete them, harassing the villagers while they chase you around, and they can't do shit to you because you're a fucking goose.
So
What does that mean?
I
could punch a goose.
that
Like
is-
you can flap your arms and honk at them and chase them around the village,
Gooses don't have arms.
or their wings, whatever. But it's
Wait,
so
you can't
fucking,
fly?
The puzzles.
2 out of 10.
The puzzles in this game are delightful to figure out. They may take you a bit.
Do they
but-
ever get more complicated than like
Oh, they absolutely do.
figure out how to take this dude's keys and hide them from him?
Oh yeah, no. This is again. These are just basic puzzles here. There's one later on which you have to dress up a statue. How the fuck you dress up the statue took me like 20 minutes to figure out.
You shit on it.
How?
Turns out the neighbor.
Wait.
There are 2 neighbors.
Don't spoil the puzzle, though.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
fine.
It's,
fine.
it's only a
Ruin
2-hour
puzzles.
game. We don't want to spoil a 2-hour game because there's not a ton of,
Yeah.
But this game is an absolute delight to play. It is funny it's very lighthearted the way it's structured, and just going around and just fucking with people.
A lot of your enjoyment
Not to
of it-
mention all the things you can interact with. Like, I just fucking turned on sprinkler head to distract this guy so I could go in and steal this fucking radio.
Oh.
And there's certain conditions like you can.
So it doesn't
it's
express
almost Hitman-like.
It doesn't
honestly.
expressly tell you how to accomplish all these goals.
Can you
obviously.
bite
No.
people?
No.
Geese, they bite people.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
When do you plant like evidence that his wife is cheating on him?
That
No, but
would be some
with the
Hitman.
neighbors,
So
I
there's
think
a
you are
thing.
trying to like get them to feud with each other
Yeah.
because you're a devil goose.
Yeah.
again, you're a goose.
Yeah. But
That-
that's kind of one of the things you kind of do. You just go around this fucking town.
How much is this game? This is a
It's
game.
like $15.
All right, maybe I'll pick this up on my Switch.
But it's
Did you play it on Switch or you play it on PC?
I play on PC.
Runs like shit on Switch and a PS4.
Really?
I
Wait,
don't know.
Okay, first of all,
That's just how things are these days. So
It's not even on PlayStation.
okay,
I know it is PC.
It ran
and
so
Switch.
shit on PlayStation, decided not even put it out in that fucking system.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
It's-
Untitled Goose Game.
I really don't want to spoil it, but it is such a delight. The soundtrack for this game is it's dynamic.
it's
based
just
on
nothing
what's
but
going on.
honking.
It's honking and piano music,
Wait, are you serious?
minus the honking.
Okay, thank you.
But it's piano music with the based on how the NPCs react to the goose.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's pretty
no,
cool.
it's good. I want everybody to experience this game before the end of the year.
I
I'll be
will
very
add it to my
disappointed if you don't.
ever-growing list of games to play, and maybe I'll play it, and I'll strategically position it between games that are stressing me the fuck out.
Oh, this thing, it is a stress reliever.
Yes, which is
And
good because there's
it
been a
has
lot.
a delightful twist ending that is fucking hilarious.
The goose gets eaten.
Actually,
Alright.
the goose does get its gander. No.
I don't know what that means. Anyways, all right, cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you, Chris Davis. I will be maybe playing this at some
No,
point.
you will be playing it. All of you will be playing it before the end of the year.
It'd be disappointing.
I'm calling it now. This
Project
is gonna be
M.
this. Oh,
This is my division of the year.
this is the game that he's gonna buy everybody.
Whoa.
Everyone gets this game.
Wait a
everyone
minute.
plays this game, and everyone puts it on their top 10.
Untitled Goose M.
We could race it and just have a 1 hour Project M.
I feel like
Actually, that's a fucking great idea.
oh, that could be. Never mind. I had an idea. Never. Yeah.
Ooh.
Shell that.
Project G.
Brad just
Okay.
had the same
Yeah.
realization. All right, let's we'll talk. We'll revisit that later. Again, if you want to help us reach our next goal and do our next Project M, patreon.com/4Player. Anyways, Chris Davis, thank you for sharing your thoughts on those
You're
games.
welcome. And now it's time for Chris.
Crispy, are you ready to join us?
You are Chris.
We have new headphones.
Well, we have headphones.
He doesn't want to join us.
Get over here, Chris.
He doesn't want it. He is his own man. Let him do what he
He's
wants.
being so slow. Oh my
Crispy, this is an audio recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
you're
also a
taking forever.
visual broadcast, though.
god. Yeah. All right. Where are we going? Where are we going from here? We have other video games.
We're like in a different world here. Does anybody have footage of Astral Chain?
I do.
Yeah,
We talked about that before, though, right?
we did. So let's
So
talk-
briefly?
Yeah, we're gonna cover it. We're gonna
Okay,
get there.
okay.
And I know Crispy. I don't know if he started it yet, but I know Crispy went out and got both of those games. By the way, I am going to get new cable or new
Extension cables?
extension cables
For the headset.
for the headsets.
Wait, I can't hear myself all the time.
Oh, finally, yes!
Okay. Yeah, I did buy those games, but I haven't
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 started
even
it?
opened them yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna talk about them.
Trash monster.
Let's talk about The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening on the Nintendo Switch.
Why did they just call it Link's Awakening? Why not, like, like a subtitle or
Yeah,
like a
Link's
subtitle?
Reawakening.
Yeah,
Well, they should-
Reawakening or some shit.
But,
No,
like,
they,
do
they,
it
sh-
in the
they should have released it
Resident
on the
Evil.
DS because they could have called it The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DS. Because the second one was Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX.
Okay.
Oh,
And then
I
DS.
Okay.
get the joke.
Get-
But now
Yeah.
it's just like Link's Awakening.
Okay.
All right.
Switch.
So, guys, I have never played Link's Awakening.
Well, you know what, Nick? You're in for a treat.
I
'cause
didn't know
game
this-
is delightful.
I didn't know this game was weird.
What do you mean weird?
It's got Mario shit in it.
Well, yeah.
It feels weird.
Yeah.
There's Kirby's in
This game was not originally supposed to be a game. It was just them kind of dicking around to see what they could do.
That would explain why it feels weird.
And then they were like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let's just make this a game.
Yeah.
And so it does not have Mario shit in it.
It's got Goombas and
Yeah,
ghosts.
yeah, sure. Goombas, why not?
That's what I mean.
And
by
piranha
merge.
plants.
Maybe it's more appropriate to say it's got
And Kirby's.
Nintendo shit in it. That's
Yes.
not Zelda.
There's Kirby's in it.
There's Kirby's in it.
Yes.
Spoilers.
Are there warp pipes?
There's a chain chomp.
Kind of, yeah.
In fact, there's a chain chomp you have to walk. You have to like take for a walk.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Correct.
Yeah.
His name is Bow Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
his name is Bow. So
He
first of all,
barks.
I'm assuming. So Nolan, you played the original Link's Awakening. How many?
Several times.
So have I.
Brad, what about you,
Yes.
Crispy? All right, so Crispy and I are going in here.
This was the first
Pretty
ever Game Boy game that I owned.
Really?
Yeah.
This is my second. I had Pokemon first, and then I got this.
Is this supposed to be the same Link from the original Legend of Zelda?
Okay, that doesn't matter. But we don't know.
Is it the same?
There is an official
timeline?
chronological timeline and whatever. I don't know where
This
this
answer
one-
exists. We
No,
can
yeah, it
find
does.
But it's.
I say we hash it out right now
With knives.
with the clues that they have so cleverly hidden in these games.
This is a very faithful remake to the original.
Oh, definitely.
It almost seems. So is it like?
I mean, they've
Frank-
added a couple of new things, but for the most part, they literally
Mostly
It's like a one-to-one?
Mostly quality of life like upgrades. Like the most frustrating part about the original Link's Awakening, which did come out after Link to the Past, so
Correct.
it was a sophisticated Zelda game for the time, and that's what made it impressive. But the thing is, the Game Boy only had 2 face buttons, so all your items you had to swap them in and out constantly. Even your sword was an item and your shield were items that you swapped out.
Yeah.
Between those two, so like if you wanted to jump over something, you had to put on a rock's feather.
You pressed pause a shit ton
Yeah.
in the original game.
But now quality of life, they mapped the sword to a button that's always there. They mapped the run to the button that's always there. The fucking bracelet that lets you pick up shit.
Wait a second.
You could just pick up shit before you had to equip the bracelet.
Wait a
Every
s-
time you picked up a rock.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Are you
it was-
saying
it was
because
ridiculous.
you would normally when you're just wandering around, I'm assuming you would want to have your sword and your shield.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do
Those
anything,
are items you had to equip.
Yeah.
If you want to do anything else, you had to unequip one of
Holy
those.
Yeah,
shit!
yeah.
That is like you know how everybody complains about having to go to the menu to like put on the iron boots and
Yeah.
Ocarina of
It's
Time.
it's
like
the extreme version of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy fuck!
I mean, it was a limitation of the time.
yeah. No, it makes sense, but like, good lord, I'm glad I.
I mean,
skipped
think
right to
about it. Like Brad said, think about playing this on a Game Boy. You literally have a D-pad and 2 buttons.
Yeah.
That's all you had. There's no shoulder buttons or nothing
I'm gonna
like
be
that.
honest, guys. It's been a long time since I've even thought about what it felt like to hold a Game Boy.
Did you know you could slash the spinies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't know that. I mean, I did, but I forgot.
But anyway, so like Brad was saying, this is definitely a faithful remake of the original game. Quality of life improvements. They've added a few new elements that weren't in the original game. You can collect these amiibo-esque figurines that wasn't in the original game.
Yeah.
Best figurines. I've played it for like 4 hours now.
Well, good scrub. Most of them are in the claw game area.
Claw game.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
there are people who want the like figurines, and you can go.
I spent a good like 20-30 minutes playing around in that claw machine.
Yeah, it's fun. I'll tell you one thing, little tidbit. At one point, you're gonna have a lady following you. Go play the claw game when she's following you.
Go play the claw game when the lady is following you.
Yeah,
All right.
you'll know what I mean.
I've not been able to steal from the shop. Can you steal from the shop?
You
in this
can.
one? Okay.
Okay,
I
so-
tried and I couldn't do it.
A history
Get
lesson.
better.
Here. History lesson here, people. So again, as someone who never played the original Link's Awakening, I've always known that something about this game was a little bit different, and I was never quite sure what that was. Of course, I jumped into this and quickly discovered, okay, there's little weird things like
Side-scrolling sections.
side-scrolling sections.
You can
Goombas.
jump.
Yeah,
But and don't take this the wrong way. Maybe y'all can convince me otherwise. I've played for about 4 hours so far.
How many dungeons?
I'm in the 3rd one right now.
Okay.
Very
early.
Yes, I'm very
Or
very
those
early.
first few dungeons are really simple, kind of like.
oh
Link to
yeah,
the Past.
they're very simple.
Okay.
at
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
Well, there we go. That's one thing I wanted to address in a second, but like I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't feel the same way playing this game as I do playing almost every other Zelda game.
Yeah, but I mean,
there's, like,
how do you
there's,
feel
like,
about 2D Zeldas in general?
I mean, I loved Link. I loved Link Between Worlds. I loved A Link to the Past, even though I was forced to play it in one sitting. You know,
didn't sound like you loved it
I
at
think,
the time.
again, with the caveat of I had to play it in one sitting. But like, I loved A Link Between Worlds, which I played casually. You know,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. This game did come out in 1993, and compared to Link Between Worlds, it feels like way more standard, I guess.
It's got delightful music, which I love.
Hold on. So I will say, yes, it is definitely a simpler game because it's not like they took. They didn't reimagine the game. There's nothing different about this from the original one. Mm-hmm. They just made it look nicer, essentially, and like Brad said, they mapped a couple of buttons. So I mean, yeah, like when it came out on the Game Boy, it was a pretty simple game for what it was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the time, it actually felt like like no other Game Boy game was as sophisticated as this.
Correct. No, it was the most sophisticated Game Boy game. But if you look back at Game Boy games from '93, they weren't exactly oh my god.
Again, I'm still trying to figure out specifically what it is that's bothering me about it. It's
going.
not that I'm not enjoying it.
It goes. Have you gotten to the Animal Village yet?
Oh, he definitely is not.
Okay, so like, yeah, I mean, and by the end of this game, which you should make sure you don't.
I will.
You might feel a little different about it. I mean, it definitely has some kind of touching and unique elements that maybe you don't see in some other Zelda games. Say maybe like Majora's Mask or something.
You know, and this is one thing I've noticed, and again, not meant to be like a huge criticism or anything, but like I haven't found any like enemies or bosses that I feel like they're the design of some of these enemies are a little weak. I don't know how to put my finger on or how to express it. Like they're like some enemies are just straight up like bad.
What does that mean?
First of all, he
like
said bad. He said bad, and it made me say bad.
I just feel like you want to say bad, but you're afraid to say bad.
You don't like mob ones?
No, I mean the enemies that you recognize from other Zeldas are great.
Mm-hmm.
But like some of the bosses are like just
you felt
these
too,
like
right?
they're like blobs with eyes, and it's like okay, that seems really uninspired. You know, Zelda is a series that's known for like really great, memorable boss fights and stuff, and like none of them have. Albeit I've only fought 2 official bosses, so maybe that will change.
So you've done the second dungeon, right?
Yes.
Is that the one with the genie in it?
Yes.
Was that not like a cool?
Well, they did tell you
how
to do the one tricky thing in that fight, which is annoying. But I mean, I guess the original did too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was cool how you beat it. And this is more of like an aesthetic choice. It's more of like I'm bothered by like the way some of the enemies like actually look.
So I mean, I'll say to that
art style.
You know, sure.
I mean, I love.
We should talk about it actually because
we will. If you look at A Link to the Past, a lot of the enemies in this are similar to that. Like the fucking caterpillar that hit its tail.
Yeah.
The blob monsters in A Link to the Past. A lot of these enemies are like enemies that were like almost not plucked out of Link to the Past, but they're really fucking similar.
Yeah, and you know, again, those complaints might be alleviated eventually. Like there's, and you know, I'm a little bugged by the fact that like every room you go into in a dungeon is like a square with, you know, a floor.
Wait, did you play A Link to the Past?
Yes, I did.
It's the exact same shit.
And A Link to, I don't know, they just something about like,
that's
why I'm having such a hard time with this because I'm like really struggling to figure out what it is about this game.
Yeah, maybe this is just opening up opinions you have about 2D.
Yeah, I think it's doing that. Also,
but like I love those.
It's
games.
a remake.
When was the last time you played them?
It's the same issues
when
as
they came out. Well, when the DS one came out.
That was a few years now.
True.
You know, it's a remake. So, I mean, so A Link Between Worlds was them taking the 2D Zelda formula and like really modernizing it, and that's a really exceptional game. This is a remake. So like you've played a lot of Zelda games since then. You know, some of the 2D ones at least, and this is just an old one of them. You know,
sure, and
with a new visual style.
That might be. And by the way, can I just say, my complaints aside about a few of the bosses that I've come across, like.
And play more.
I love the way this game looks, and I'm going to finish.
Can we talk about that though? Like, because I like the way the game looks, but I don't like the way Link looks. I think he looks a little Funko Pop-ish, you know, with his dead eyes, which is fine. And like, people are acting like I'm a jerk because
he does have dead eyes.
How dare you?
I don't like cute Link, but you know, I love Wind Waker Link. He's expressive, and you know, he's like the Nendroid, and this Link's like the Funko Pop. You know, like he.
But like this whole series is full of like good links and bad links.
But there's something else about the look though, and it looks a little budget in places for some reason. Like, you know, can y'all think of? I was trying to think of an example of a game with a nice art style but kind of budget at the same time. This feels like that a little bit. First, like look at the way he animates when he moves around. Why is it all like janky? There's no frames while he's turning. You know, Link Between Worlds had that. It was like super smooth. Why is it like that in this? I don't quite understand. Because like his sword's animated like well, so but why is his movement not? You know, like when he turns. I don't quite understand.
Tark1 in chat brings up to your question Ashen, which was last year.
Ashen's a good example.
But like, also the decisions they made with Ashen, as far as like the way they did their characters and how like, they all had like the no faces and
Not
stuff.
the faces.
Like, but like that was a very intentional. That was a decision that was obviously probably made for budgetary reasons, but they ended up making it work with the art style. Like that game ended up having a really memorable look to it. And I'm not sure if that's necessarily what's happening here, but it doesn't bother me so much. I
also,
think,
you know, the frame rate. You expect a really polished game from Nintendo, and that's Nintendo didn't develop it internally, and it kind of shows.
I brought it up before the show started, but honestly, that is probably my biggest complaint about this game is the frame rate. It's not amazing.
So,
in the world, it's
just
bad.
like curious, so I haven't really noticed a whole bunch of this, but I've been playing mostly in handheld. Is it different? Is the frame rate more
it's
noticeable
the same on both.
Huh. I haven't
Where
really
when
had any
you're
issues with
when
it
you're
yet.
going around the world. So one thing that's different about this from like all other 2D Zelda games is that you're not going from like screen to screen like you do in dungeons in the overworld, which you usually do.
Yeah.
It's all one stream open world.
Correct.
And it makes me sorry, excuse me. It makes me wonder if like it was originally supposed to be like the original game and all the other 2D Zelda games where it was going to be screen by screen, but then they decided to just make it one big seamless open world, and maybe that's where they started to run into like technical issues, because it kind of doesn't make sense. Like this game should not have performance issues. I mean, like, but remember, this is the same system that runs Breath of the Wild, okay? Which might have some frame rate issues, but they're very different.
Yeah, this should be a
fucking
no-brainer.
games, right? Like, I mean,
I will say this. Like, I mean, I've noticed a few areas where, like, I've seen a dip every once in a while of frame rate, but, like, it's never become, like, so noticeable that it's, like, actually, like, actively bothering me as I'm playing it. Maybe I just haven't gotten to the right areas yet.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's very noticeable for me, and it's not like it's not like it's dragging the experience down, but you expect like a certain level of polish, especially with a remake where like I feel like the polish is like one of the big reasons why you would play what is a visual remake of the original game, right?
Yeah.
You would want it to be pretty and polished, and that kind of drags down the visual experience, which is, you know, the primary reason I'm playing the fucking thing, because I played Link to the Past, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I just don't get that, but you know, I love 2D Zeldas, and you know, hopefully this thing does well because I want more. I mean, I think there's one thing that is unique about 2D Zeldas that isn't really in the 3D Zeldas as much, and that's that the overworld is just as much of like a Metroidvania as like maybe, you know, they are in the dungeons, right? But like the overworld is a puzzle that you're unlocking access to more areas just like you would in a dungeon, right?
Gotcha.
While in a 3D Zelda, the overworld has a lot of like towns, and you're doing like side quests where you're running back and forth, but you're not really, and you might use your items to find secrets, but you're not using items to like uncover parts of the world.
You're literally opening new areas based on the items you get. It definitely is Metroidvania.
Yeah.
It is definitely like one of the first, I don't want to say 3D because it's not 3D, but it's not non-side scrolling Metroidvanias.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm just glad to be playing a 2D Zelda game again.
It's one of those things where when I got this, I was like, oh sweet, I'm going to go on vacation soon. I can bring this with me and play it on my vacation. And I was like, oh, I'll wait until
But you haven't been able to wait.
Dude, I'm like fucking 4 dungeons, five. I think right before Pies, I beat my 5th dungeon. I can't fucking put this game.
How many dungeons are there in the game?
8 or 9.
I want to slow down there,
I
bro.
want to say I want to say the original was 8, and maybe the color dungeon is a 9, or the original was 7, and the color dungeon is 8. Something like that.
I think 9.
You want to play this on your vacation? You want to slow down? Play some Astral Chain,
Dude,
bro.
I'll fucking replay it on hard mode.
Well,
on the vacation.
there
I'll probably bring Astral Chain with me
Maybe
on
I
my
should
vacation.
have played this
too.
on hard mode. It's kind of easy.
So Brad and I were talking about that. It's not
Yeah,
technically
the
called
hero
hard mode, hero mode. So
I love that it's available from the start,
yes. Nick, hero mode, nothing drops hearts.
but yeah.
Ever.
So you just kind of play it a different way.
So you
One
know,
that's
like
maybe kind of tedious.
if you're low on health, you can just maybe slash from grass or bushes or whatever.
Or an
and
enemy.
You can't do that in hero mode.
So how do you regain health?
Fairies.
fairy fountains,
Yeah.
bottles of like medicine or fairies. You
This didn't even
know,
have bottles of medicine, did it?
I don't remember.
No, you can just collect.
But I
fairies
don't
in
even
a
think
bottle.
you got bottles in there. I think
Yeah, you
bottles
did.
are new.
You got
No,
bottles
no,
in the
no.
original one.
Yeah, well, I played
This
it.
little dude
Last
looks
ti-
like Mario. Kind
not-
of.
Yeah, I
even
know.
with
like,
dead eyes.
That's very specific. But like, you try. I bet you'll feel different about this game by the time you finish.
I know.
it.
I'm sure I will. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am really enjoying it. It's just been one of those things where I couldn't quite put my finger on what it is that's different about it, aside from the obvious shit. But it is delightful. I do like that. Like the art style reminds me of like Animal Crossing, because I'm not a huge Animal Crossing fan, but I've always liked the way those games look.
Yeah.
And this has a kind of an Animal Crossing style to it.
Yeah.
Also, funny enough,
Oddly.
sorry, oddly enough too. Yeah. I heard her playing this, and Robin walked in and she looked at the screen, and the first thing she said about it, she was like, "Why is it blurred around the edges?" And she's like, "I hate that." And I was like, "I
Yeah,
didn't
I
even
don't like
notice
it.
it."
I don't like
I
it
mean,
either.
but like, I love it. Like, I think that's like a very, like,
I wonder if that's sort of like a frame rate thing as well.
maybe, but like, they did the same thing in like Octopath Traveler, and I think that was a big reason that contributed to what I think made that game look really unique.
I think it's trying to simulate you looking into a diorama.
Yeah, and it focuses your eyes on like
Exactly,
what's
you're
directly in
focused
front of
on the
you.
center, so that's where the focus is, and everything on the edges is slightly blurred. And in all honesty, I didn't fucking notice it blurring on the edges at all until
Yeah.
you just
Crazy.
said that.
You're crazy.
I did not notice it.
It's called tilt shift.
Oh yes, it is a
Tilt
little
shift.
tilt shifty. Mainly just because I've been fucking enjoying the game.
No, it's good. It's definitely good. All right, well,
So to before we move on, I did want to say one of the big additions to this, because there was like, I think the original game, you go to this mouse's house and you could do something with like the link cable or something, but they got rid of that, or take photos. Yeah, photos is what you could do,
Yeah.
because you could connect the Game Boy's photo printer.
What?
Yeah, and you could.
I forgot that thing
You could take
existed.
photos. Certain things in the game would give you like almost like a fucking Polaroid shot. And they took that out, and so now they in his place they added how do you say his name? Dampy? Damp?
Donkey?
Dampe?
Donka? Dank?
Don-
Are you talking about the
no.
graveyard dude?
Yeah, there's no
Dampre?
K in his name.
Dampre?
Dampkey?
There w-
In my head, he has a K in his name. I
he
don't know
doesn't.
why.
It's like Dampe or something.
Donka?
The
How much?
dungeon creator mode,
Yeah,
right?
I
so
call
they
him
added this
Donk.
dungeon creator mode.
Oh yeah,
thing,
I dicked around with that last night.
I heard it's not like amazing.
So it's okay. They're like, oh, you can build this and do that, and I think it's one of those situations where I'm not going to do it, but I will play other people's stuff potentially. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to spend the time to design like a crazy dungeon. That being said,
I think
it literally is only
I think my problem
pieces
with it
of
is
the
that
dungeon ripped out of like.
but all the individual pieces, like the because you compile the rooms, right? You connect the rooms,
Yeah.
but like all the rooms are like pre-built. Like
Correct.
you have no control over like what's in the room, where a
Correct.
chest goes. Like I think if you could add more control over that kind of shit, it would be way more interesting.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
for sure.
But you're just like taking like pieces of pre-built
know,
shit and just attaching.
It's like the one unique piece of content that this developer contributed to this game, and it's funny to see that people kind of aren't loving it,
Well,
because this game is not developed internally, and the studio is known for just doing like HD. Like they're the ones who did Grezzo. They're the ones who did like the Twilight Princess HD
Yeah.
and ports and remasters and stuff.
and the Wind Waker HD.
So I would say,
HD.
Brad, that before this game officially came out, like right at it was about to come out, and people were talking about it, and they mentioned like the dungeon creator and like, oh, are you going to make a Zelda maker like you did Mario? And I would say if they leave it just as this, no. If they
Yeah.
added something like Nick said, where you could actually completely piece by piece put together a dungeon with
Yeah.
enemies here and whatever, maybe.
You got to have that creative freedom, or it
But
just seems kind of pointless.
Yeah, no, that could not be in its current form stretched into its own game.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's revisit this when we've played more of it. I think we're all going to keep playing it. But the other Switch game we're going to talk about. Nolan, you've been playing.
Yeah.
And Brad,
Brad, too.
Brad, you've been playing. Well, Brad's been playing Monster Hunter. That's
Yeah,
so Brad's been
I
playing.
played more of this. The reason I haven't played as much is because I kind of don't want to play this in handheld mode at all, because it's a very like busy game with lots of mechanics,
Yes.
and I don't want to play it with a lot of stuff going on the screen. So I want to play it on TV with the Pro controller. And
We're talking about Astral Chain.
Astral Chain.
Astral Chain.
I don't get this.
Some say legions never feel the pain.
We had Chris Davis on the podcast, and we were telling him to Teases it because he was breathing into the mic.
Astral Chain.
I'm out of the loop here. I have no idea.
You've never heard Chocolate Rain?
No.
What?
Oh my god!
What the fuck?
Oh my god!
How? How are you alive?
I don't know, but we're apparently gonna
Wait,
have
why
to...
did they let you on the internet?
What is this?
How did you get
talking
your
about?
license without knowing Chocolate Rain?
You have seen this.
It's cool. He can just put it into his microphone. I can hear it through my speaker.
Someone tweeted Teases tell him not to pull down our video.
Chocolate Rain.
This is a podcast. We gotta talk.
What? I mean, there's audio.
He's talking.
Anyway, how have you not seen Chocolate
He leans
Rain?
away from the mic when he breathes in.
Oh, I get it
Watch,
now.
wait.
And remember,
That's what Chris Davis has to do. To
Oh,
be on. Yeah.
Okay, I feel like the missing piece of the internet has found its way
Yeah.
There you go.
into my brain. All right, Astral Chain, backing it up.
Yeah.
I think Teases followed me on Twitter once. I checked. He doesn't follow me anymore.
Yeah.
Boo.
Smart move.
All right, how's it going with Astral Chain?
So
Nolan?
yeah, this is definitely
this is the break
a platinum
where
game.
dog-tired members of
Yes.
the
I will say that.
This is a fact.
Yes.
Yes. How much have you played, Nolan? This dude's cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Lappy.
yeah. How many files have you played?
I think I'm on the second or third file.
Okay, I will say my first few hours of this game weren't super positive. It's gotten a lot better.
It's slow. It's a slow start.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's because you have this whole police headquarters thing,
Yeah.
and they try to introduce you to all these sub mechanics and all
Yeah.
these little things. And they kind of, instead of doing something where it's like, hey, here's the police headquarters, let's go do a mission. And then when you come back, they're like, hey, here's this cool thing you can do here. All right, let's go on a mission. Hey, come back. They introduced you to everything at once, and it kind of gets a little, it's a little much to take in at one time.
Yeah.
Dope
ass music in the
Oh
PlayStation.
god, yeah,
huh?
dude, the music's fucking great in
Yeah.
this game.
I did pick this up, by the way.
Good. Do it.
Just
Play
haven't
it.
started yet. It's on my. It's on my list.
So Brad had brought it up last week, but I will also note that a large big complaint about this game is that no matter if you chose the male or female main character, they don't
Silent.
speak.
Silent
Yeah.
protagonist.
Only their
Oh,
sibling
it
speaks,
sucks.
which kind of sucks.
But you made the same mistake Brad did. You picked the ladies. And
How was that a
you'll
mistake?
You'll never hear her voice.
I don't need to
Yeah.
hear a voice when I can look at them booty shorts.
Oh my god.
I wear the leggings. It's absurd. that
The number of
Bare ass
tweets,
leg.
the number of tweets I've seen of this game with just gifs of like the character walking and like positioning the camera so you can see her butt is
well,
astronomical.
there's like there's like
Astralchainical?
there's
There we
like
go.
short tech or whatever that like you can actually see like the fabric folds as she's kind of walking, which
Yeah.
is
Ooh, you mean like
wait,
the
like-
underbutt?
Yeah.
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 Do you mean like rendering short shorts in a video game or like future short shorts?
Future short.
Future short shorts.
What's the difference?
They're future.
They're future.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's like future texture.
Yeah,
lot of
there's
style.
there's nanotechnology built into the shorts.
They're actually not wearing shorts or clothes. It's all just projected onto their body with
Yeah.
nanotechnology.
Exactly.
So everyone's actually naked.
Yeah.
Even the dog dude.
Well, it's a lady.
Yeah.
Dog lady.
Yeah. Lady dog.
Everybody's naked.
She's great, by the way.
She is. So yeah, the voice acting's pretty good in the game. I've been enjoying it.
sure.
Combat is pretty good. I know we
Yeah.
did talk about it quite a bit
Dude, I'm
last
still
week.
like
It gets
the moment that I decided I was
Complex.
like, yes, I am going to play this game was when Brad was showing the footage last time and he showed the what do you call
Astral
it?
Chain.
With the rope where you
Yeah, the
like
chain.
Red Rover.
the
Yeah,
red
Red
rover, yeah,
Rover,
the red
yes.
rover maneuver like
Correct.
that was like
That is one of the
cool.
cool mechanics. There's a lot of mechanics in
Yeah,
the game.
they introduce here's 5 different legions and they're all like completely different. And
So yeah, and that is one thing I noticed was, the first level, you're interacting with a bunch of shit, and it's like, oh, you need this type of legion to interact with this thing. Oh, you need this type, and I'm like encountering all these different things that I can't interact with because I don't have the correct legion yet. And so I think you have to, I'm assuming you kind of replay files once you unlock new legions.
yeah, I don't know how that works. I do know that like when you go into like a city environment or whatever, when you're on a mission, you're usually doing your investigation and stuff. Like there's a lot to do. There's a lot of like secret like little nooks and crannies you can get to using your Legion. That's pretty tricky. I spend a lot of time exploring because there's a lot of stuff to find, and I'm kind of impressed with that. Sometimes there's stuff that it looks like I can't do, but I kind of figure out a way to actually like do it. But then sometimes you straight up see icons for other legions you don't have yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you go back to those same areas or you replay it, but it's cool.
So I will say that unfortunately there is no combat in this footage. Just because
But there's a
that's,
cat. Oh my god.
Just
You
because
go
that's where I was at when I was capturing footage.
You go for between long periods of like non-combat stuff in this game, which is you don't really expect from a Platinum Games game.
Yeah.
But they kind of pull it off. I mean, that stuff's pretty good. I mean,
Wait, there's a lot more story elements. There's a lot more content to this game. It's not just, I'm going to fight monsters and then talk to this guy and then fight more monsters and then talk to
Everybody's
this guy.
wearing booty shorts.
you do detective work.
Everybody.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Even the guy, he just has shorts. He has pants on his booty shorts.
Or long booty shorts.
Oh, yeah.
Long booty shorts.
They're more Daisy Dukes. Anyway, so getting back to the
I
game.
mean, I'm all for it. I am a fan.
Yeah. So anyway, we talked about it a little bit last week, but there is quite a bit of like I don't want to say detective work in this game, but that you are a police officer, and so when you go to these cityscapes, often you're going there to solve like not necessarily a mystery, but a crime has happened, something's gone bad. You've gone there to investigate it. So you have your I forget what the iris. It stands for something. I can't remember.
Detective vision. It looks
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
Like, this is a surprisingly sharp-looking Switch game, and it runs well. And that's kind of surprising because we're not
docked mode.
used to seeing that. In both modes, but yeah, I play in docked when I can. I mean, especially coming off Link's Awakening, which having like frame rate issues and stuff. Like, I'm surprised how well this
It's so
one
weird that
keeps
of
it
those
together.
two games, this is the one that is more stable, like frame rate.
It's strange.
It
but
is.
yeah.
I mean, I think that's a testament to the studio who developed the game, the engine they have running the game. I don't know what Link's Awakening runs on. The engine they built that game around. But clearly they should have got a better one. But anyway, like I said, when you go in, and that's honestly what's going to happen when I'm about to go on this mission. It is like a shit ton of like detective work I'm going to be doing.
When you go to leave the police station, do you have to like talk to someone and then it loads you outside of the police station, or can you just walk out the front door?
No, you take a helicopter or a vehicle and it takes you to your destination.
Gotcha.
So yes, that is the loading, and you're going to see it here in a second, or maybe in a minute.
Lies.
But yeah, and so that is kind of what I do in this footage. Is we go to this place and then you try to gather information. So you talk to the citizens. Hey, what did you see? And they'll give you clues as to what they saw. You investigate kind of things. There's and I'm trying to think of a good. There's definitely another game that has something similar.
We're not thinking of Batman.
I mean, kind of Batman-y, but it's Brad. You know what I'm talking about? Where in the mission I'm about to go on. No. There's you go into this detective mode, and it kind of shows you the past. Then it shows you, this thing moved from here to here to here.
Remember me.
That's a deep cut.
No, it was a good game I'm thinking of.
Damn.
Shit.
Brutal.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Brad? In this game, at least. Where it's like in this specific mission I'm going on, there's like a drone, and they got shot down, and you like follow the path that it took before it got shot down. And there's another game I'm trying to think of.
Batman kind of does.
I guess
stuff
kind
like
of
that,
Batman or the Arkham games.
I know what you're thinking.
Heavy Rain kind of.
Heavy Rain kind of does some stuff like that.
But yeah, and so that's kind of an example
Where you're like rewinding time.
Detroit.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Detroit. That's what I was fucking trying to think of.
Detroit.
Nick, how did you not get to that?
video game.
Top 10 worthy for some
that
of us.
was on my top 10.
But yeah, so like that, where in this instance, hey, this guy's like, this drone was shot down, and you use your iris vision to kind of look and see, I'm detecting that based on the angle, it was here, and then it got shot from this angle, so I know that the bullet came from that direction. And you'll see me using my Legion to clean up this, I forget what this shit's called.
Red matter.
Yeah, red matter, yeah. There's all this red matter that gets left over from the...
money or whatever it is.
What are the enemies called in this, Brad? I forget. Not demons, monsters.
Red.
No, there's a
guys.
term for them.
Wow, guys, y'all really killing it.
Well, hold Nick. I've been playing a fucking lot more Zelda than this.
Demons, monsters.
Well, no, like Brad was
I
saying.
just haven't played it
I'm
in
not
a
super
minute.
far into it. Brad hasn't played it in a while.
Yeah.
is the
Monster-
problem.
because of Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Played over 60 hours of Monster Hunter.
Holy
that's a lot.
shit!
But anyway, so like I said, here I'm gathering that there's this napping guy. I'm like asking questions. Hey, I think they're just called demons. Yeah, says Burgle. So yeah, demons. So anyway, the demons leave this matter behind, and you clean it up because
Demon poop.
yeah, people can't see the demons or your legions. They're like, and
The legions are what's on the end of
sorry,
your
no,
chain,
they can
right?
see the demons. They can't see the legions, right?
They
Yes.
can't see the legions.
The legion is what is on the end of my chain.
And
The astral
in some
chain.
cases, they can't see the demons either.
Yeah. But anyway, so you're cleaning things up. Only certain people can see and interact with legions. You happen to be one of them. Your dad is this like legendary police officer, legion user. But yeah, like I said, this is me doing a bunch of detective work. I'm talking to people.
Are you thoroughly enjoying the detective work?
It is pretty good.
Those
Yeah,
kinds
it's
of
okay.
mechanics
I
can be
mean,
very hit or miss.
It could be like a bit of a pacing thing because it's not like hopping back between the two, and you might get like a new legion and some cool new mechanics, and you might just really want to fuck with that, but you might have to wait 45 minutes before you get to the action. But if you explore the environments, you can find like little bursts of action. If you find the little red nodes when you have your iris
that's
out,
true too.
like little side quests. There's lots of little
there's
like
shit tons
side
of side
quests
quests.
and side little activities and stuff.
At the end of the like file, you'll have like kind of like a review, kind of like any platinum game, where it's like, hey,
Yeah.
this is how long it took you, this is how good you did in combat, and these are the like cases you solved. And like, oh, you missed like 3
Some you
cases.
didn't even
Yeah,
find,
like you never
yeah.
found this shit.
That's sort of why I started to like explore more thoroughly, and I was surprised by some of the stuff I was able to find.
And
Metal Gear
so
Rise
yeah,
and
like Brad
shit.
was saying, and I don't think I'm
Prince
gonna
of the
get
Universe says they are called Chimera.
Chimera. Thank you,
Chimera.
Prince. Yes, Chimera. They do refer to them as demons, but yes, Chimera is the primary term they use for them. And so you'll see some of it in this footage. I don't think it will get to it, but like Brad was saying, there are like these fire escapes that you can't jump in this game, which is kind of a bummer.
That's
like I
strange.
feel like you should
It's
be able
weird,
to jump.
yeah. It's a little weird.
But you can't. And so
You can upgrade your weapons,
Mm-hmm.
and I heard that there's like a way to jump with one of those moves. That if you use your Legion,
Yeah.
So if you're longing to jump, I completely forgot you can upgrade weapons in this game.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like I've upgraded my baton a bunch.
Yeah.
So you can do more attacks and stuff with it. But yeah, so there's this point where there are all these fire escapes, and since you can't jump, you do use your Legion. I think Brad did a little bit in the footage last week, because you can move your Legion. Your Legion kind of float and fly a little bit,
Yeah.
and so you can move him to a destination, and you can jump. Like essentially,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
pulling
yeah,
the
he'll
chain.
pull you.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
The problem is it's not like. There's been some times where I've been trying to do that platforming, and
Well,
I miss it a little
if
bit.
something is in the way, it
It
stop
stops
you.
your momentum
But then
and
they'll
you
introduce
fall.
like stuff that you can kind of like ricochet around, like pillars and stuff.
I've done the ricocheting stuff in the training room, never in
Yeah.
combat yet. But anyway, so we don't need to talk about it too much more. This is a kind of a side quest
Yeah.
where I found these quadruplets, and they're giving you the whole like, oh, one of us is telling the truth, the rest are
Quadruplets, there's 5 of them.
quintuplets. Thank you. The one of us is telling the truth, the rest are lying, and they give you all these kind of riddles and puzzles, and you kind of have to figure it out. And yeah, that's just, I'm sure there's a lot of one-offs like this where there's kind of interesting stuff that you do. But yeah, I've been enjoying it so far.
Cool.
Like Brad said, the music's great, combat's good, art style's good.
It's another one that gets better the more you play it, for sure.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna keep playing it.
Cool. All right. Yeah, this is probably next on my list after I finish Zelda, which Zelda's pretty.
And also a
pretty
great fucking
quick.
Switch game,
yeah.
dude. Like I'm glad Switch is getting some good games.
Good time for Switch right now. For sure. All right. And the last game I'm going to mention before we cut to break, and I mentioned it already a little bit, but I got footage for it, so I'll talk about it for a second. It's Greedfall, because I'm still playing this. This is kind of the game that I'm like thinking about when I'm not playing it. I am like 15, 16 hours into it now at this point, and Brad was asking me last week about, or like between shows and whatnot, about, what is it about this game that's different that would make me want to play it? And like now that I've sunk a good amount of time into it, what I can tell you is that from a systems standpoint or from a mechanical standpoint, like there's not a whole lot here that's like super unique. Like what is unique about this game, what in my opinion sells this game. I mean, outside of the mechanically speaking, I think this game is pretty damn solid, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. But it most everything that it does, I've seen done other places and maybe better.
Yeah.
But like, it's the setting and like the political intrigue and stuff that this game leans on heavily that like sells this game. Because the whole concept is you're traveling to this island as like a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Envoy.
No, you're like an emissary or I don't know, that's not the actual word I'm looking for, but like you are going there to like this island is being explored and like the people have traveled to this island, they've set up these cities and stuff and they're trying to
Colonial.
Yes, but they're like researching all of the flora and fauna on the island, and you are going there as to try and to talk to the governors of these towns and like try and hopefully find a cure to this disease that's plaguing the mainland. But you're doing so by like exploring and trying to learn something from the environment, and like that.
And you do that by killing things.
You do that by killing things, but like you're doing missions for people. And
I'm pretty sure those creatures didn't attack you.
They would have if I had let them do it first.
You're doing research by slaying monsters, just like Monster Hunter.
I mean, here's the thing: like this is it's all very standard fare for like RPGs and stuff. Like,
Is that a werewolf?
there's a lot of wolves that look very werewolfish to me. Like a lot of the creatures in this island are very, strange, but they're familiar.
Monstrous.
Maybe they're werewolves, but I have not seen any evidence so far to indicate so.
Gotcha.
Also, it is in the middle of the day, so I would.
Oh yeah,
imagine
that's why I was
probably
kind of
not.
curious.
But like, the thing that sells this game for me is the setting and the political intrigue. You're spending I've spent almost more time in like dialogue with people, trying to make tough decisions about like who to help and who to, and who to not betray, but like you're
Who do you side with?
You're
Who do
constantly watching
yeah.
like your relationship with different factions on this island go up and down.
How's the voice acting?
The voice acting is really pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like you would. I was going into this kind of expecting it. Everyone usually throws the word Eurojank out there, and I was
Yeah.
expecting everything to be kind of a mess. It's actually really not a mess. There's a few things here and there that where its budget shows through. There's a lot of reused environments, especially interior environments, but like outdoors, like all the maps are like beautiful and like well lit and like the character, like all the character models are pretty good. Like some of the faces look a little
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that's the stuff where I was expecting the dialogue to be kind of a mess, but the dialogue's like probably one of the best parts of the game so
The
far.
writing is good.
The writing so far has been pretty good. I also want to say that like there's a lot of so when you level up, you get for every time you level up, you get 1 skill point. But every like 2 or 3 levels that you go up, you get an attribute point and a talent point. So that you can use in addition to your skill point. There's 3 different like menus in your skill tree or whatever. And like unlike so I only get like a talent point every 3 levels or so. Like those are the things that I want to be putting the most like points into, because they give you the ability to like climb shit better, or there's one for balance that lets you like balance, like so you can walk over like fallen trees and shit to get to other areas that you wouldn't normally be able to get to. It's like all the time I'm coming across things where it's like, oh, I can't access this because I don't have enough vigor, or I don't have enough balance, or whatever it may be. But like I know I'm not going to be able to put any points into that until I go at least 3 more levels. And when I do that, like I'm like, well, I don't know which one I want to put a point into, because there's so many different things that I remember.
decisions.
Yeah, like all the decisions when it comes to leveling up are pretty tough. Like
Which is a sign that, that stuff is well done.
yeah, like I maybe more so than like most like. I
Like
can't
Witcher 3, where all that stuff is sort of poorly done. If
Yeah,
you
I
really
mean,
look at it.
I've never been huge into like menu based RPGs before. I don't like to spend a lot of menus and time in menus and like focusing on stats and stuff. But, like this game makes me think genuinely about how I use my points every time I level up, and I think that's pretty damn good.
No, definitely.
So yeah, I'm still enjoying the hell out of it. I'm definitely gonna keep going with it. This is kind of my focus right now.
Is it better than Mass Effect Andromeda?
Yes.
Okay.
Low bar.
That is a low bar. But I will say, I streamed this once, and people in chat were like, there's a lot of people in our community that were like, oh, I really want to play this, and they were talking about it, and it made me realize like, oh, this does remind me a lot of the first time I played Dragon Age Origins,
Yeah,
the very
I was
first one, in
gonna
terms
say
of like,
that.
remember that one had, like the budget wasn't quite as high on that one, and it looked a little jank in certain places, but like the meat of it was like really good, and that's kind of how I feel about Greedfall so far. So I will keep playing this, and I'll talk about it again later. All right, we're gonna take a break, and then when we come back, we have some, not a lot of news, but some big news worthy of discussion, including The Last of Us 2 and E3 related stuff. So maybe, yeah, Butters, and some Batman stuff. Maybe some Batman-related stuff, so yeah. And then, of course, we'll answer some questions from our supporters on Patreon and Twitch, so if you're watching us live, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Do a month of Shudder for October.
Oh, shit.
Because I think they do like a free month or something.
Welcome back to the show. I was streaming the other night when I was talking about trying to get Fear running, which, by the way, that's a whole thing I'm going to talk about in my 4-player minute.
Man.
But
yeah.
I realized to myself, there's a bunch of horror shit that I want to play that I haven't played yet. Some of the stuff that we tried last year during our horror thing, like the Conjuring House.
Yeah.
I wanted to finish that. And I forgot Visage. I pre-ordered that, and there's like several chapters of Visage that are available. Woo! Visage, yes.
Visage.
Exactly. Speaking of horror movies, Brad, I watched The Curse of La Llorona.
Is that good?
Not really.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna.
I mean, it's like
there's a knockoff of The Curse of La Llorona or whatever, but like it's funny because that's like a secret spin-off of that stupid Conjuring series, right?
Yes.
It wasn't a secret spin-off. They used that in the advertising.
The knockoff.
It was supposed to be like there's a moment in that movie
in the Warren universe.
There's a moment in that movie where they reference
Stream Dead.
The other.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the voiceover for the trailer was a new story from the Conjuring universe.
Stream Dead.
I think it's from the same director of The Conjuring or whatever. I don't know, but like it was the way they do it in the movie. It is definitely supposed to be like a like a shocking moment.
But they knew that they weren't going to get enough people into the
theaters.
Yeah, no. At first, the marketing didn't
do it, and then they were like, "We change that tune."
Yeah.
Anyways,
You got to
back video games.
You gotta.
We got some news to talk about.
A little bit.
Are we ready? All right. Chris Davis, hit us with the news topic.
hit us.
All right, let's start with the Batman news. I'm both excited and very sad about this. So, WB Montreal. Wait, why are you making that face, Chris?
I just don't know. I don't know what to think about this.
WB Montreal, so they've been rumored for a very long time to be working on a new Batman game. Like, when I say rumored, I mean like there's pictures of development team members wearing shirts with basically the Court of Owls logo on it and like shit like that. So like the rumor, or the basically all but confirmed rumor, is that they've been working on a new Batman game with starting the Court of Owls. And on, I forgot what day it was like Monday or maybe it's Friday of last week, I don't remember. They fucking tweeted
Tuesday.
They tweeted a GIF, and it just said, "What did it say? Capture the night, KNIGHT." You know, and it had like a rotating logo that a lot of people are speculating looks like it could be the Court of Owls, looks like it could be Ra's al Ghul. But like the point is, they were teasing something, so everybody assumed that we were probably going to get an official announcement of this long rumored game. Unfortunately, that did not come to pass, which is like sucks because I was super excited to see that. A lot of people thought they were going to do it during the State of Play thing that Sony did on Tuesday or whatever the day that was, but it didn't come to pass. So, Crispy, you say you say you don't know how to feel about this. Why is that?
Because it's WB Montreal.
Are you? You hate Batman Origins that much,
Dude, it's the more I think about it, the more I dislike that game.
man.
I've never played it.
The more I think about that game, the more I want to replay that game.
I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to articulate this without just, maybe I'm just being mean. But I feel like it's been we've had like, 10 years of these Arkham games now. Yeah. And Arkham Knight was like a pretty good jump forward in terms of like design and philosophy for those games.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a new Batman game from WB Montreal like
moving the needle forward.
Moving the needle forward enough to justify its existence. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of what I feel like based off of Batman Origins. I could be completely wrong. Also, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm just like in a very like protective, like wait and see kind of mood about it. Because I don't want to get hyped up. The idea of them doing a Batman game featuring the Court of Owls is
exciting,
very exciting on a very deep level for me. The idea that it's just kind of like being passed off to the B team.
Well, ostensibly because
which is
Rocksteady
still
is
kind of what I feel like WB Montreal is.
I mean, but it kind of sucks though because Rocksteady has said they're moved on from Batman. Like we're not going to get another arc. I mean, no,
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady is what I meant to say. Rocksteady has said they're done with the Batman franchise, which means if we want this kind of like...
Right, it's going to keep going.
If we want the series to keep going in any form, like it's going to have to be the quote-unquote B team.
Kind of like that last Tomb Raider game.
Until they become the A team, right? You know?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like the last Tomb Raider game was passed off to like, the B team. So they can go on and do an online Avengers game, just like Rocksteady's going on to do a shitty online Justice League game.
Yeah, see, I brought that point up, and people were telling me I was crazy.
You're
a fool. Crazy.
I just feel like the Batman Arkham games were as a whole great series.
Yeah,
I really like each entry except for Origins, and even Origins does have things that
there's some good stuff to it.
I liked. I mean, ideas that were like, man, if only. It's
definitely the worst of the series easily.
Yeah. The idea of continuing that series to me, like maybe I lack vision. Maybe I'm just cynical. But like I feel like if they keep making these Arkham games, they're not going to be crazy different, and they're gonna want to play things as safe as possible. They're not gonna do the kind of like I want a Batman game that's just like completely different,
But
that's why Gotham by Gaslight was exciting.
All three of their Batman
games. That was kind of like
games.
a bold, crazy idea that like is not appealing to that like mainline grimdark Batman.
Are you talking about in terms of the story or in terms of like game design? Because each Arkham game that Rocksteady made was like kind of an ambitious leap forward.
Was a really good step forward. I mean Arkham Knight I think was a great game. I do think it had some of its stumbles with mechanics. I think the Batmobile shit gets way more shit than it deserves.
And it was super ambitious.
That stuff was really cool, and it added like a much needed piece of like the whole Batman feel.
I mean,
I don't know. I feel like they've reached the end of like what that kind of, quote unquote platonic ideal of like what people want from Batman in the 21st century. I feel like they've kind of like reached that, and I would want to see like some fucking weird shit. Like
I do agree with you. Honestly, one reason I was so excited to see this reveal was because I was hoping that like they would announce this. I hope it has. I hope Arkham is not in the name. I hope they use this opportunity to like kind of create something new and launch it. And I was hoping, that maybe they'd change like the atmosphere or the visual style in some significant way that makes it feel distinct from the Arkham series.
Sure. Like Batman Beyond.
Batman
that would be great.
Would be welcome. I think Batman Beyond, the Gotham by Gaslight would have been a cool idea. If they did something like even more recent stuff from the comics that was just like weird that people were kind of maybe not ready for, I think would be great. Like Batman Super Heavy would be really cool. Maybe something like just
Cowboy Batman.
Val Kilmer Batman, sure. Or like
Did you say Val Kilmer Batman?
JSA.
I said Cowboy.
Oh, Cowboy Batman, yeah. Or like
Cowboy Val Kilmer Batman.
No. Or like JSA Liberty Files Batman. Like that would be fun. Basically like hunting Nazis during World War II. Like fucking cool shit. Do something crazy. Do something really weird. The other thing is the logo tease that they did. Like I'm just not familiar with Iconoclast. I don't know if a lot of those things that it's stopping on are established logos.
I don't think they are.
That I should be recognizing.
No, because people were still trying to guess. Like even like people were like, you look
but
at
it
those
ends with one that like really kind of really feels like. I mean, it looks like a demon face, and when you think of demon head, demon face, like in Batman terms, that's Ra's al Ghul. And it's is he going to be the big bad of this new game? Is this another game about Ra's al Ghul?
I hope not.
And it kind of like, come on, you did that, you know? The one thing about the Court of Owls, though, is like one of the big kind of sticking points for people recently, as far as like, this is proof that this is going to be a Court of Owls game, is that Scott Snyder, the writer who came up with the Court of Owls, was tweeting something about like wait for it, you know, like he tweeted out some kind of tease thing that was like, oh, wait for it, here it comes, and then immediately like pulled it down. So maybe like they were gonna originally announce this during State of Play, and then they were like, oh, we can't do that, and then pulled it out at the last second. Like I don't know, it's just fucking weird, and I kind of hate being where we are right now. I hate being in that like
this holding pattern.
Like we can see a lot of like shadows and curves of the thing, but like we can't see the thing, and the thing might be disappointing. And like I just want to know. For fuck's sake.
I mean, to be honest, the fact that the tweet is still up, it's still their pinned tweet on Montreal's account and everything, and like I would be surprised if we don't have an official announcement before the end of October. You know, they usually tweet these kind of things like leading up to the announcement. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few more of those like gifts get tweeted or something in the coming weeks. But like, they wouldn't have tweeted that if they weren't close to making an announcement, I'm pretty sure. So I'm hoping we see it soon. But it is interesting, and it's, you know, it could go either way. It could be like exciting. It could be not good. I don't know. But like you said, I just want to know. I hate this holding pattern that we're in. All right, let's talk about something else. What's the next news topic, Chris Davis? All right, here we go, Brad. Square Enix has revealed the Final Fantasy VII box art, which is very nostalgic, but it's also being criticized for being very misleading.
This is so fucked. Like, the only time Square Enix has mentioned that this is just Midgar is in like interviews or like super long form like playthroughs. Nowhere in like the advertising, the box art, trailers do they say this is not a full remake of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
This is going to be a $60 product. It doesn't say it on the box.
It doesn't say part 1 anywhere.
Final Fantasy VII was a huge mainstream success. And there's a lot of people who are excited about this remake because it looks super fancy, super expensive, super nice. There's a lot of those people probably still have no fucking clue.
Oh, of course they don't.
And they're going to see this box on a
thinks
shelf.
This is the full game.
That's so fucked. Square Enix, they're being assholes about this, and I don't think they have to be. I think this thing would sell like, you know, gangbusters regardless, but like, what the fuck? I've never seen anything like this.
Can you imagine if someone like made it, like bought that game and was like playing the entire time going, oh my god, I cannot wait to meet Yuffie, and like see like all this, and then like
Midgar is all of a 10% of the story,
and they get to the end of Midgar, and all of a sudden credits roll, and they're gonna be like, what? Like, if someone actually manages to make it to that point without knowing,
I
it's going to be
100% guarantee you that would be the case.
Shocking.
It's super shady, and I guarantee this. There's no way this game is like 60 hours long.
Oh no,
you know, so it's not going to be the whole story, and it's not going to be as long as Final Fantasy VII.
I think it's going to be like
20 hours.
20 hours.
That's my guess. Is 20
That's
hours.
So fucked, and it's going to be 60, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I think they've said
it'll be 60. For some people, like 120, or you know, whatever the fuck the big collector's
It says
is.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's literally the title. It's what it says on right on the cover of the box.
Do you think? I mean, I know the answer is no, but do you think they'll pull like a Hitman, where it's like at a later point in time we'll give you access to more of the game via download or some shit?
No.
I already said I know the answer is no.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I that would be.
That's what they should fucking do.
I mean.
I think what's going to happen is for the next 15 years they're going to be releasing $60 titles that are the rest of this story.
No, it's one year later, Final Fantasy VII Remake 2, and the year after that, Final Fantasy VII. Sorry, Cloud Returns, Final Fantasy VII Remake 3.
Oh my god!
You're going with the Final Fantasy third.
Yeah.
You know what my biggest concern is, and I've said this a few times. My biggest concern with this is, what the fuck does this mean for like the rest of Final Fantasy? When the fuck is Final Fantasy 16 going to happen? Is that even happening?
They
because
said
of this?
like no time soon.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Like at this point, like I'm so excited for Final Fantasy X Remake, but like man, I would probably throw it into a fire if it meant
yeah.
getting Final Fantasy 16 sooner. You
But
know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
If it's
As long as Final
months
Fantasy 16 is not like Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
Let's-
or
let's-
But the world,
14.
but the world may never know. Like the thing, you got to remember, Final Fantasy 15 was still kind of connected to 13, so like that's why that turned out the
I
way
know.
it did. Like 16 will be the first
Among
one we
other
get to
things.
play that gets made. That's like its own.
It
thing
has no ties.
since 12
Yes.
or since the original 13 came out. The
It's-
first like
You know, the cover art that they released, I mean, it just shows Midgard.
Shut up.
You're
It just shows Midgard.
That's the cover of the
Crispy,
original.
can you
I know.
lower your mic a bit?
I know, but
You
it's not like they're showing pictures of the overworld being like, "You'll never go here."
I can already see like the cover art for episode 2 or whatever it's gonna be. It's gonna be like Red 13. Like,
what are
sitting
the
on
chances?
The cliff
On the
over.
cliff.
What are the
yeah.
chances that it's a surprise and the whole game actually is in there?
I doubt it.
You shut your mouth.
We
I
don't
doubt
live
it.
in a world that's that magical.
Yeah, that's true. There's no
Oh my
way.
god.
And this
Now
is,
Brad really is living in a fantasy.
Yeah.
It's the Final Fantasy. All
Let's
right.
move on from this, please.
Next news topic. There's some big news topics this week. All right. So this is. Woo. So reports are coming out. The E3. You didn't see this?
No.
E3 2020
yeah.
is apparently being rebranded. Like they're trying. Obviously, they're trying to figure out what E3 is and how to make it relevant or more relevant.
What's
and
the
keep-
easiest way for them to leak people's data?
Yeah. Oh my god. So they're rebranding is what it's looking like as a festival, quote unquote, with more emphasis on fans and influencers. The good news is, guys, that's us.
So it's like another PAX.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they're basically competing with PAX. Like at this point, like how do you even distinguish yourself from PAX other than the fact that you have 25 plus years of goodwill behind the name E3 and what it was.
The difference is PAX has a lot to do that isn't just waiting in line.
That's true.
That is true.
E3 doesn't.
Facts.
The thing is the thing is E3 would still remain that place where the announcements are made, right? Like where they make an announcement and then you go on to the show. I mean,
Sony wasn't there this year.
you're right. And like the real telling thing will be, is Sony going to skip next year again?
Probably.
Is Microsoft going to skip next year?
Like if Microsoft skips, what even is E3 at this point? Like I'm not going to go to a Nintendo convention as much as I love Nintendo. You know what I mean? Like and it's just going to be
Damn, do you then? Do you love Nintendo, Nick? That was a hard diss.
I guess it was. I mean, it wouldn't just be Nintendo. Obviously, it would be a bunch of third parties and stuff. But like, it would just become a third party convention, which is essentially what PAX is, right? Because the first party stuff is
but-
doesn't have a lot of presence at PAX either.
PAX has a robust indie
But-
presence.
yes.
as
But
well.
you
That
know
is
what
true.
this means too. Like you said, the other
And
part of this
panels
is
and board games. and
emphasis
stuff.
on fans
Oh, yeah.
and influencers, right? Good news is I don't think we will ever have trouble getting enough badges to go to E3 ever again. But on the other side of that coin is like you're gonna be walking around the floor and it's just gonna be fucking like Twitch streamers you know what I mean? Like it's gonna
You mean like you?
giant Fortnite shit.
you mean
which
like
there
hell.
already is at E3, by the way. Past 2 years have gone to E3. There's been massive Fortnite.
I'm fairly certain they've already
had-
said to get into E3 next year, you have to floss to get in the door.
Yeah.
Oh, well then I'm fucked. That's my concern.
Nick,
I don't
you're
know.
an influencer. I mean, you don't.
I mean-
you don't influence many people,
You j-
but that is what you do.
You joke, but we are influencers.
Yeah.
Spend
I know. That's what I'm
more of
saying.
your time being influenced.
I mean,
influencing.
the one good thing to come out of this is like
It was a business conference. It used to be, right?
Correct. It used to be business.
the one good thing about this is that next year when it comes around, if it does look like it's something that I would want to go to, which I hope it is, I don't think I would have any trouble.
Are they going to
going.
like introduce like panels and stuff? Don't they kind of have to?
I feel like they
I
would
wouldn't
have
be
to
surprised.
if they're focusing on fans and influencers. But it's the one thing you can tell right out of the like if they're talking about this, like E3 2020 is going to be totally different. Now the question is again going back to being in a holding pattern, like what that means, I don't know.
Yeah.
E3 for me historically for the past 10 years has been something I look forward to going to every year. I don't know what.
Yeah, what's the point if other people can't get in?
No, I mean, I just don't know what the event is.
I don't
like,
know.
is it
I
just?
don't think they know.
well, I think
Is it just a gathering of
It's
people
going to
who-
be like a bigger TwitchCon.
yeah, in
Yeah.
all
Which I don't want to
honesty-
go to.
Correct.
Or like PAX.
In all honesty, it's taken them way too long to realize they've needed to change.
Yeah.
Like they honestly should have realized 5 years ago.
Here's the question: if they change it dramatically, is this the kind of change that would also maybe lure first parties back in?
No.
So once again, that's the other problem, Nick, is the reason E3 was a big deal was because everyone gathered, news outlets gathered, all these people gathered to spread the news. The thing is, they don't need that anymore. They don't need you to cover them. They don't need IGN to cover them. They don't need, because they can have their own press conference that millions of people will watch.
Part of this too, they're talking about making it the
That
kind
was
of
really generous of you to put Nick on the same level as IGN.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Always looking out. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why Sony skipped
Fuck
out,
you,
because
Nolan.
they were like, hey, look, we can either spend $200,000, I don't know how much money they spent, $200,000.
That's conservative.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm doing. To transport all of our people here, to build all these elaborate sets, to make sure we have all this tech able to run everything and for fucking 5 days, or
Just to have the internet make fucking cringe compilations
Exactly.
about you.
or we can spend maybe half of that, have our own conference, set our rules, make sure everything works, do a bunch of practice stuff beforehand, and bam, essentially all the same stuff is out there. We can do some shit. We'll your local Best Buy will have a demo. Shit like that.
Another big
Like,
part of this whole discussion is that like E3 next year is going to be very they're going to be. There's been talk about them selling like digital passes to like be able to like play the demos that are on the show floor at home, but you have to pay for them. But you pay for a pass or whatever, but you at home can like download the stuff and play it for a limited time. That kind of shit. And again, that is very loosely me interpreting what I was reading.
I think
the
this
press
is
release and
reactionary to like, hey, I don't think the press is going to come next year since
Oh,
we
definitely
fucked
not.
them all over.
Yeah.
So let's just rebrand this thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and the question is, what is it going to be after this? And that, again, I have no idea. But we'll talk about that more as we learn more. E3 is, as we know it, is probably dead. So, but that could be a good thing. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. I just don't know if it's going to be the kind of thing that makes me want to go anymore. But we'll see. Next news topic, and I think it's the big one. All right, so this is the overlay refers. So yesterday was
Big one.
Outbreak.
yesterday
Oh,
or
yeah.
today is Outbreak Day. So yesterday was the day that's or maybe it's 2 days-
Outbreak Day?
Tuesday. On Tuesday.
And this is the day of the shitty news?
Okay, guys,
What a
let
fuck.
me get it out so we can
Go
talk
ahead.
about
Go
it.
ahead.
So the overlay refers to the release date. We finally got a firm release date for The Last of Us 2,
And a
which is
bitchin' trailer.
with a bitchin' trailer. February 21st, 2020. Super fucking exciting.
I don't think it was a bitchin' trailer. I think it was filled with spoilers.
That's
and that
bullshit. That's bullshit.
I agree with Brad to an extent.
No more. There is no more spoilers than
Like,
that. Than first
what?
of all, watch. We've seen the first trailer, right, where they introduced Dina.
Yes.
Okay.
Go on.
Tell me you didn't
The first
know
trailer
what the
introduced-
fuck was gonna happen.
No,
And
that's
also-
not the same thing.
Also, we don't know what the fuck happened. It was very specifically edited to obscure what the fuck was happening in that trailer. I
Well,
don't know what the
sure.
fuck happened.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that like the inciting incident of the story?
I mean, the trailer definitely made it seem like such.
Correct.
Which I didn't want to know that.
I didn't want to know they kissed.
Well, that was spoiled.
Wait,
that
they're
was,
still lesbians?
Wait,
I'm sorry.
you didn't know that was going to happen.
the
I mean, you didn't know what it was.
the
It could have been Joel who died, right?
Oh, but maybe he did.
Dude,
Still
guys,
goes.
I just first of all, the whole discourse around The Last of Us, before we even talk about the multiplayer stuff, the whole discourse, but since this game was announced, has been just
Ghost Joel.
one just distraction after another,
Ghost Joel.
which honestly may be intentional on their part, because if you're talking about all this stuff that like may happen or may not happen, you're not talking about like the important shit. Like this whole whether Joel is alive debate is probably some unfortunate side effect of just the way they edited that first trailer, and now they're like, well, people are distracted by this. Let's just let them hash that out, and then by the time the game is in their hands, it'll be a complete and total surprise because they'll have spent the last year and a half talking about Ghost Joel.
I mean, there's a reason that a lot of people think that could have been the case. I mean,
I for a while thought that was the case,
Yeah.
or I still think it could be the case.
Can
Who
you
the fuck knows?
imagine if they actually did that?
we know it's a
I
fucking.
could, but like at the point, it's like
No, wait.
It's a cliche.
You think if they did
For
that,
sure.
we are not having this
you
conversation.
would be like, oh, cool. You wouldn't be like, oh, they.
Hold on, Crispy. I will say, in defense of the first game,
In defense of the, why do we even have to say that? The
Why
Last
would
of
you
Us,
have to
the
defend
first
it?
Last
Stop
of
it.
Us is.
What I'm
fucking-
saying is, there's a lot of kind of zombie horror cliches in The Last of Us 1, but execution-wise, it was like really great.
Sure.
So even if they go for the whole cliche, Ghost Joel's talking to me, I'm on my while I'm on my revenge quest or whatever,
That's
they
not
could
even,
pull it
like-
off.
No, I don't think they can because that's not even like.
Damn
That's not
it,
even
Chris
just like
Davis.
a classic trope that they're. That's not even like a classic trope that they're just kind of like paying homage to. That is the poster boy of like shitty twists. That is never gonna get out
Which is
of
why-
the shadow of the Sixth Sense.
Which is why-
it is never gonna be anything that wants to be taken seriously can pull.
No,
Here's
no,
the thing.
it doesn't
Here's
have to
the
be
thing.
like the Sixth Sense.
Guys,
though.
here's the thing.
Where's
Like,
the thing?
even if that was the case, whether he's dead or not, and she's talking to whatever, at the end of the day, I don't think that's the twist. I don't think that is the important thing.
I don't think
at
that's the
all.
thing. I don't
like
think
they
that's-
could reveal that in the first 10 minutes of the game.
I don't think that's like a real.
no.
Yeah.
The point is, Joel does die. She's talking to his clone in an attempt to cure the
That's
zombie
possible.
plague.
Yeah.
They clone Joel.
I believe it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let me just say, like,
because now they
No, but here
I don't understand
hold
how
on.
it has become a controversial like stance to take. This game is going to be awesome.
No,
That's what
That
it
is definitely not what it is.
It
Yeah.
feels like it
No.
to me.
This
Hold
is
on.
like the most hyped
For
game
real.
of next year. What are you
Full
talking about?
It's
real.
full negativity out there, guys. What
faux
the fuck?
real,
No, it's not.
Faux
That's
real.
I'm listening
Like-
to Carlos too
faux
much.
real. Why the fuck is Ellie wearing a gas mask around spores?
Okay, first of all, I watched that clip again, and I think everyone assumed that was Ellie falling through the floor, but I think it may have been Dina, and Ellie was the one off screen.
Or maybe you just find out that she's not actually.
I think Dina was sliding down, yelling Ellie's name.
Gotcha.
Second
As-
of all, wasn't the whole point of the first game that like nobody could find out
Yeah.
that she was immune because people
Yeah,
were
that's
gonna
true.
do
That's
what
a good
they
fucking
tried
point.
to do to her at the end of
Maybe.
the fucking
Fucking
game?
Maybe,
Oh, yeah.
maybe
Like-
she's wearing the mask to throw people off.
Nick, people are not down on
She
this
got
game.
a tattoo over the fucking scar to hide it.
You're in your little bubble, and in that bubble is Carlos, and that's fucking with your head, dude. I swear to God.
Maybe.
And all these multiplayer fans. I'm telling you, I saw a thread on Reset Era that literally was a question and a poll, and everyone was like, "Who do you think's more popular now, Ellie or Laura Croft?" And everyone in there was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But like, people are drinking this Last of Us Kool-Aid. Like, this is like the most hyped game of next year.
I just feel
don't
like-
worry about it, Nick.
I just feel
there's
like-
people on the same side that all of us are.
I'm strictly talking
that-
about the discussions I'm having with people that I commonly talk to about video games, which is a lot
Carlos.
of people in our community and our
Who?
Discord,
Yeah.
on our
Who?
on our Twitter.
Name names.
Yeah,
I'm not
name
naming names.
Name names now.
I'm just saying the attitude towards this game since since it was announced. I feel like everyone's looking for something to throw at this game. For
Just
some
real
reason.
quick. You do know that Neck is Carlos, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to be clear.
Believe me, I'm aware.
Okay.
I'm fully aware. And I do my best to ignore Carlos when it comes to this shit because he's
I-
always trolling.
Sounds like he's getting.
I'm really hyped for this game too, but
Yeah,
I think it would
of
be
course.
remiss if we didn't point out the fact that like when we finished the first game, when we finished The Last of Us,
Uh-huh.
I kind of remember that the prevailing sentiment was, "Please don't make a sequel." To
Yes,
this
it
game."
was.
A lot of people thought
It
that.
was.
and that is still a very valid. Like, if you're gonna make a sequel to this game, it better be fucking
And-
good.
Yes, I agree, and that was kind of one of my things because while The Last of Us may not be
tell me a
the most perfect game ever made, it's pretty fucking close.
Tell me
to
a-
a
tell me
really
a-
goddamn perfect game.
Tell me a Naughty Dog single-player campaign that hasn't been incredible.
Uncharted?
I think Uncharted 4 has issues.
Ooh.
Some people think
Oh,
Uncharted 3 has
oh,
issues.
Okay,
Brad,
I'm
back
not
up,
talking
back up.
about issues.
He didn't
Every
say-
game has
He
issues.
said good. It is a good.
He said not incredible.
Okay, first of all,
not unincredible.
okay, sorry, Brad. I should have known not to use the word incredible around you because you're gonna be like, well, it has issues. I'm not
Ban
talking about every
Carlos.
game has issues.
Yes.
I was down on Uncharted 4, so I was.
Have you replayed it since?
No.
I would challenge you to replay it,
If any Uncharted game I had issues with, it was 3.
and I would challenge you to replay it.
Or no, sorry, it was probably the first one. Like
The first one,
Honestly,
yeah,
in all honesty, the first one out of all 4 of those games is probably my least favorite.
yeah.
name an
Me too.
name a
Because
Naughty
it is
Dog single
literally
player
raining
campaign
dudes.
post Uncharted 2.
Okay.
That is not incredible.
Uncharted,
Uncharted Lost
4.
Legacy was incredible.
Great game.
Like
I would challenge people. There was a lot of, and me and Brad have talked about this on the show before. There's a lot of negativity around 3. I replayed 3
I like
before
3.
4 came out. 3's a really fucking good
I like
game.
3 more than 4.
3's a really
and that's
fucking
fair,
good
but
game.
like Naughty Dog has proven time and time again that like they know how to write incredible stories with incredible characters.
Great characters.
And like that's kind of all I need to like it until I get my hands on Last of Us 2 and I have like legitimate
I will say at a glance,
complaints?
like just straight up revenge story. Like nothing that they've shown looks like groundbreaking yet. Correct. Now I have faith that they'll pull it off and it'll be super interesting because honestly I think the first one maybe at a glance wasn't
by
like
the end
super
of that
unique,
game,
but
by the they're pitching this as like a basic revenge story, right?
Oh, you
by
know
the
it's
end
not
of
gonna
that
be-
game,
yeah.
that is probably going to be
Far
the
from,
least
yeah.
important thing.
I'm sure the revenge story is the first like hour, 2 hours of the game.
And then it morphs into something totally
Correct.
different.
That's my assumption.
I will say I still wish I didn't watch that trailer.
And that's fair.
And that's fine,
I mean,
yeah.
it did its job for me. Like it made me like fully
hard.
excited, rock hard.
I want to know. Nothing.
But
Happy
let's talk
birthday
about
to me.
the unfortunate news though. As a
tragic
trade.
news.
Tragic
Fuck
news.
you. Why would you bring this up?
I figured you
I
wanted
can't
me.
believe you've done this.
I figured
First
you wanted me
Assassin's
to.
Creed, now this shit, right?
God.
Assassin's Creed needed to
The
die.
Last of Us Part 2.
No, it didn't.
No.
What
The
that
multiplayer?
what that game had morphed into was an
Oh
Obama
my
fucking
God.
nation
Wait, what are you talking
of what it
Look,
originally
look,
was.
look,
Talking about Assassin's
hang
Creed
on,
multiplayer.
hang on. It might not have been perfect in its most recent iteration, but that doesn't mean you just fucking nuke it.
I agree.
You change it. You work on it.
Okay, if they would have worked on it, fine. I don't
Because
think they
the
would
core
have.
was amazing.
Because
core
the
of
game
what was going on
kept
there.
getting worse.
This has nothing to do with what we're talking
The
about.
game became,
You're wrong.
chase me.
You're wrong.
And as soon as I'm gonna run around like a fucking dickhole, and as soon as I see someone
You're wrong.
chasing me, I'm gonna throw a smoke,
That's fine, you're
wait
right.
3 seconds, and then assassinate them.
That's fine.
That's what the game fucking became, and it was a fucking abomination.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's getting heated, guys.
That's yeah. I mean, you're wrong, but that's fine. That's fine.
Why are you talking to yourself?
Can we talk about Last of Us Part 2?
Last of Us Part 2 Factions is dead.
Okay. Yes, they have confirmed factions will not be a part of Last of Us Part 2. Just prior to the recording of this podcast, they released a statement because obviously people are very upset, and rightfully so. I got into it with some people in Discord today. Everyone assumes I hate factions or I'm indifferent to this one.
Fuck
What?
you, Neil Druckmann.
But you are
I
kind
mean,
of.
it doesn't move the needle for me at all.
Yeah.
But like I understand why people are upset. I assumed that it was going to be part of it.
When I saw Neil Druckmann at E3 2 years ago, if I would have known he was going to do this, I would have punched him in the face.
So intense.
But what I don't understand is how come in a DM to me today you said that
Me?
all the factions fans were crybaby bitches.
Oh.
What?
I did say I did DM that to Brad.
Leaked documents
Yeah,
prove
yeah.
that Nick's a fucking jerk.
Unclassified crybaby bitches. He said.
Yeah, that's me. That's what I said.
He said.
Fuck you, Nick.
Everyone's very heated about this, very upset. I understand.
Well, our community
Just
has
because I don't
some
care
hardcore
particularly.
factions fans.
We do have a lovely bunch of people in our community who love factions.
Join our Discord. There's a factions funeral channel.
Yeah, I'm assuming Carlos made that.
Yes.
Clearly did.
But right before we recorded this podcast, Naughty Dog released a statement about this, and their statement seemed to indicate, at least to me, my interpretation of it was that it sounds like they're developing something that's going to be a separate product. Like the shitty thing is here, if you ever see a Factions 2, it's going to be you're going to have to buy it. It's going to be like a standalone thing.
It's gonna be a free to play
You think it's going to be a free to play?
because we live in the year of our Lord 2019. Yes.
Okay, fair. I mean, that's a
What if they're farming this shit out because Neil Druckmann is too godlike to work on a multiplayer game?
Well, first of all, I don't believe Neil Druckmann worked on the original multiplayer.
no.
No,
They had-
I know,
they
I
had-
know.
They had like a separate
Okay.
team for that.
But he doesn't even want to be in the credits of that.
Okay, let's not spread sick
Philistine
rumors about
trash.
Neil Druckmann not being too snooty to work on a multiplayer
He's
game.
snooty as fuck. You could just
What a
see it in
little,
his
what
hair.
a little snooty.
It is. You can see it in his hair. Oh, okay. I know people are very upset, but I don't have much to say about this. What do y'all want to say? All I know is I'm still fucking
It's
excited.
bad.
Like the fact
This
that,
is
the
bad.
fact that some people are like, we should boycott The Last of Us Part 2, like that's gonna
Here's
do
a question:
anything.
why the fuck was multiplayer in Uncharted 4, but they're taking it out of factions?
People are hurting, Nick.
So, dude, those are very
first of all,
different games.
there was
First of all,
It's been brought to my
Prestige.
attention. It's been brought to my attention just before the recording of this by Yeager and Chris Davis that there are in fact still multiplayer job postings for The Last of Us Part 2 on Naughty Dog's.
no. Hold on.
It's a trap.
It's going to be like Dark Souls. You're going to be able to
All there's-
see the blood stains
okay.
of the other players crying as they
All the-
experience
the tear
the
stains.
the beautiful story of The Last of Us Part 2.
All we really found out
giraffes.
today was that the box that you purchase on February 21st, 2020 will not have factions in it.
Yeah,
That's what we
I
that's
mean-
what we found out today.
Okay, but what? But okay.
What they said sounded like it's going to be
You know,
not coming the following week or
My-
whatever.
No, probably not. No.
my perspective is, me personally, I always really liked the idea of a multiplayer third-person action shooter. Like I don't know what it is, and every time one comes around that seems like it might be good, I get really excited. You know, like when Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, I was like, oh shit. Maybe Metal Gear Online will be like the thing, you know?
Yeah.
When Uncharted 4 came out, I didn't even play. I've never played an Uncharted game, and I was like, well, shit, if it's got this multiplayer, maybe that'll be the thing. Why? Why is it that these third-person action shooters like just die out like that? How come there isn't like a sustained competitive model for a lot of these?
Does it
don't
have
fucking get it.
something to do with the fact that it's third person and maybe that's less?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like
I mean,
I feel like there's a
Fortnite,
lot
right?
you can do with that is interesting beyond just like carrying different types of guns, you know? The whole like traversal cover mechanics, the crafting mechanics and factions, that was all fucking great. It was built to just like have these wonderfully tense emergent moments.
It's not worth it. It's not making the money.
I mean,
and it's
yeah.
expensive.
At the end of the day, the decisions like this are made
money
because of money and resources
and Neil
time.
Druckmann.
I mean,
Fucking Neil.
everybody talks about how like Factions is amazing and it surprised the hell out of Naughty Dog when they realized how. But like when you're all of these comments, all of these like arguments for why factions should continue to exist don't include numbers. They don't take into consideration at the end of the day what is the majority of the people shelling out money to pay The Last of Us doing when they play The Last of Us. Like,
You know why?
Factions may have been a surprise hit, but it may not have been enough to like tip
Yeah,
the
I
scales
don't
and make it worth
don't
their,
fucking
their
care.
time. I know you don't.
I don't fucking care. Like, why should any of us give a shit about their numbers?
Nick, I would say
yeah.
that those numbers were really fucking strong.
There's a new
Sure,
Dude,
I'm
a
sure they were.
shit ton of people
And
played
again,
Factions.
this is probably. I think Crispy's probably right. I think this is probably going to. Factions 2 is going to be announced either just before the release of The Last of Us 2 or shortly after, and it's going to be announced as an upcoming
like
free to play.
Fireflies,
Thing.
something free to play game. Download.
I,
now on
I would not
PlayStation
be
Store.
surprised if that was the case, and I wouldn't like necessarily upset me
I don't-
because for all intents and purposes, Factions had nothing to do with The Last of Us.
I don't think they would even bother to release a statement about it if they
No,
didn't have something.
there's a new tweet from Neil Druckmann that says, "Let Amy Hennig develop that basic bitch trash."
What a fucking prick!
For a second, I actually looked at you. I was like, "Oh, this is hard hitting news. He's about to like deliver some
Oh, we're breaking.
breaking news," and then you fucking hit me with this. You trash fire. Okay. Do we have? I'm sure this is gonna come up again in our 4Player. Do you have anything else we want to add to this?
No, fuck you, Neil.
All right. That's the news. Are you ready to do some questions, Nolan?
It is funny that I follow some of the developers from Factions,
Uh-huh.
and I was following one of them today, and he tweeted something about it, and I was like, this motherfucker. And then like I'm looking at the thread, and someone was like, why would you do this? And he's like, dude, like I left Naughty Dog like 2 years ago.
Damn.
I did not
Damn.
leave.
And he's like,
My
he's
wife
like,
and
I
children alone.
he's like, I couldn't do anything about
Say,
this.
leave my children alone.
My wife and children.
And I was like, wait, what the fuck? Unfollow.
By the way,
You're nothing to me.
Why am I following you?
Fuck that guy.
I will say, I think we're more likely to see some like co-op shit in Last of Us than we are to see.
I don't want to cooperate.
Yeah,
with people.
and maybe
Yeah,
even
I
like a
wanna murder them.
horde mode or
I
some
want to
shit.
like viscerally and brutally murder them with a shard of glass.
All right. On that note, let's move on. Nolan, while you pull up
No, I
questions,
already have it up. It's ready to go.
All right, so
Ready
we
to
do
go
that
now.
before
Question number 1.
All right, okay.
I'm just kidding. Nick, you know this. Before we get into the questions, we talk about our new patrons.
Actually, technically, based on the last 2 shows, I should have done it at the beginning of the episode.
Go.
But hey, whatever.
Okay.
Patrons.
Anyway, so skipping down to the first new one since our last show. It would be Scuderia?
Scuderia.
We didn't talk about Scuderia, right?
I don't think so.
I think
Okay.
it's Scooteria.
Scuderia.
Scuderia, yeah.
Then we have Achieved Big Bong.
Achieved Big
Big
Bong.
Bong.
Wait, is
Yeah,
that a
name.
new one? Like, I haven't seen that one.
It's like
They
Big
became
Boss,
a
but it's
patron
Big
on the
Boss.
17th.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Metal Gear.
Are you just saying things to your microphone so you can hear
Well,
it?
no,
in
she-
your head?
he's talking about Big Boss.
Big Bong. Big Bong. You
Yeah,
know?
Big Bong.
I don't like the way
Big Boss and Big
my
Boss.
voice sounds.
Talk Camp?
Uh,
Toe Camp?
This is
Talk
kind of
Camp?
fun.
Toe Camp?
These are all fucking made up. These are all Chris
Nolan is
Davis's-
making these up on the fly.
And then
Tot Camp, actually.
Tot Camp
There it is.
then,
Achieved Big Bong, Tot Camp,
and Joe.
and Joe.
Remember when
Joe Dirt.
Remember when Chris Davis's dad was subscriber of the month or some shit?
Yes.
That was fucked up.
Remember when
Collusion.
remember when Crispy's mom donated during our last Project M? That was such a good moment.
That was pretty good.
That was such a good moment.
You're not really her. What's in my middle name? Kelly.
Oh my
Alright,
goodness.
Let's get some questions from our patrons.
Yes, let's do it.
First question this week from Thorax. What are some things that people do on the road?
They
Sorry,
drive?
there's some
Drive?
extra words in here that instantly triggers you.
I'm not ready for this question today.
Oh, it's been one of those days.
No, okay. You want to? I'm gonna take this opportunity to tell a story about something that really fucking like pissed me off today.
Tell me.
Hit us.
So I work downtown, right?
Yes.
And parking downtown can be a
Horrible.
bit cutthroat.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of sometimes you just gotta leave your car somewhere. You know, and I parked in this 2 days in a row. I parked on the street corner right next to where that post office is downtown that
Yeah.
isn't a
The
post
old
office
post
anymore.
office, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a post office anymore.
Correct.
So the little those little drive-through lanes don't do anything. Right. So I parked in
In the drive-thru
I
lane?
was no, not in the drive-through lane, but in
They'll
front
never
of
know.
it.
Okay.
In front of it. So there's the sign that's don't park beyond this sign, right?
Yeah.
And from my front wheel to the front of my car was hanging over that, right?
Yeah.
And there was a car behind mine that was this black Challenger, I think. And I parked in front of this person 2 days in a row, and granted, this probably was a dick move, but I kind of backed up really close to them just to get every inch I could so that I didn't get a ticket or towed or something like that. Well, today I walk out of my car after work and that person was gone, and they had written on my car in lipstick, "Don't park here." What? And I was
Wow.
what? Now I know who it is, and I think it's somebody I work with.
Get
and
her.
it's I'm all day I've just been thinking about well, how much peanut butter should I put under her door handles? I mean, I'm probably the aggressor in the story. Saying it out loud, I do sound like a dick, I guess. But fuck! What? I had to go get a car wash after work to get it off.
Oh, that's a dick move. You should write on her or his or her windshield with lipstick, if you have lipstick. Right, you owe me this much for the car wash.
And then
Just an endless battle.
Just a big old dick.
But make sure you don't park in front of her again. Just go somewhere else, and then
No, yeah,
write
for
it.
sure. Or no, I was also thinking, what if I just do it again? Just do it again. Don't retaliate at all. And then, I feel that was kind of her warning shot. If you do this again, I'm just
hold
gonna
on.
fucking hit
Send
your
us your
car.
best
on,
passive-aggressive
Just
ideas.
get there earlier and park where that car normally
I know.
parks.
I thought about that too, but realistically, that's not gonna happen.
Vang says, just take the wiper blade answers.
No, put
That's fucked up.
That's kind of
no. Put a single rose under her wiper blade. Yeah.
a black rose.
Oh my god.
But if I just got her license plate info and then parked that same way again, and if she hit my car and then I claimed it on insurance, was I got hit and run by this car, that would be that would be evil, right?
Did you
That
take
would
a
be
picture of the?
No, but I'm going to now.
Well, that was.
No. It's I see this car every day. It's there every day. It will be there tomorrow.
You should write on her.
What you
when
should
she'll-
do is
"Don't
get
park
up
here."
early and take her fucking spot.
Well,
Thanks,
that's, yeah, that's what Nolan just said, and I just don't. I honestly know myself well enough to know that that's not going to happen. But
Or
that's a-
if I did,
just
and I
don't
like,
go to
parked-
sleep.
Yeah, don't go to just
like
like
literally
let-
after the show,
just let
go
my
park
hatred
there.
and anger
Go
stand
park
me,
there
like-
right now after the show.
Get some lipstick and continue to communicate on your own
Well,
car.
you know, okay. So I was really pissed off this afternoon, right? And I went home and I took a nap and I woke up and I was still thinking about it. And I'm not, I'm honestly not angry about it anymore. But I do feel like a connection's been made.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I want to retaliate, but like I feel like I want to keep
You want to ask
the
her
lines
out?
of communication. No, not even that, because I think I know who it is, and it's not like someday I want to date. But like I kind of want to be like, hey, I'm sorry I slightly inconvenienced you, but like you did something that cost me money, and like you were kind of just like flew off the handle, and you know, maybe let's talk about this. Like let's just like be
Over
people,
coffee.
right? Like let's just be human beings about this, and
That's
like leave
not
a
funny.
note that says something like that on her windshield, and she reads it, and then she kind of feels bad about it, and she's like, oh well, okay.
That might be-
This is a guy who's just trying to like make his way through the world just like me, and then she goes to get in her car, and there's peanut butter on the door handle. Like yes.
Crispy. Here's what you do. You leave the podcast tonight. You go park there. You take an Uber back to your house, and then just catch an Uber.
And
to work
just
in the morning.
never move your car.
Never
just
move your
leave
car
it there.
in.
You know what though? I could do that. I'm not saying I'm going to, but
It's
not.
It's a possibility.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
I know we didn't really answer his
Is
question.
it worth all the money?
Yes.
We didn't really answer the question, but I think he'll be appreciative of that story one way or the other.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry.
Next question.
All right, next question.
None of that, Nolan.
From Matt. What is your favorite unconventional directing idea or clever, never done before, trick in a specific piece of media? To clarify what I mean, I'm talking about something that was uniquely new, at least to you, or done in a specific, unexpected way to incite a strong reaction from you. As an example, Shinji screaming or ranting over the credits in Evangelion. My own favorite is Fooly Cooly Season 1. The song Last Dinosaur only plays during the On the Next Episode segments after the episode proper. But in the last episode, it starts playing just as Haruko says, it's climax time, giving me the distinct feeling of it really being the end.
As someone who doesn't know anything about that at all, I have no
Fooly Cooley's really
idea.
Fooly
Yeah.
Cooly is really good, Nick. If you haven't seen it.
I
I
have
like how he
not.
said Fooly Cooly Season 1.
They
I
made
guess
another
they did,
season?
They
They
did
made
make
two
another
others.
season, yeah.
Two others? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I didn't know it was two. I knew
Progressive
it was
and
one.
that
one's
stuff-
called Progressive and the other's called
Fooly Cooly is like 6 episodes.
Is that stuff
Alternative.
good?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Wait, is eyebrows in it?
I don't think it stands a chance of being received
Yeah.
well,
Beck knows what's up.
just because of
Yeah.
Those eyebrows.
you know what.
Yeah.
I feel like
Fooly
Crispy
is.
should have a good answer for this. Don't mean to put you on the
No,
spot.
I honestly, I need
trying
to
to-
hear I need to hear the first part of the question again.
I'm not going to read it again.
It's basically
I don't know what the question
it's basically like what is something like a really cool artistic or choice made in a movie or something that like really caught you off guard that like just stands out to you.
Like it was done on purpose to incite a reaction out of you, kind of type thing.
I feel like I'd have to go through like,
I like a title card at the end of a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could think honestly, like coming up with like I think TV shows are a bigger thing than like movies, especially anime. I mean, I think it probably has a lot of that because obviously a lot of the times anime is trying to incite some like feeling in you. Off the top of my head, I can think of a few, like specifically even like talking about that, like Cowboy Bebop episodes where all the time it says, you know, see you Space Cowboy or some variation of that and then credits. But there's that one episode, and it's not the fucking last episode. It's like maybe 3/4 of the way through the series where it's the episode where the credits roll and it's like in space and shit. And I can't remember which episode it is. It's been a little while since I watched Cowboy Bebop. But like randomly out of nowhere, it just has differing credits on purpose to, you know, kind of incite that feeling out of you. I don't know.
Oh, I have two answers.
Do it.
I've got a video game and a comic book answer. The
Perfect.
video game answer is Nier Automata.
Nice.
that's full
the
of them. Yeah.
last, like the end of the last playthrough,
Gotcha. Yes.
the credit sequence,
Yes.
basically.
Yep.
That was real. Like wow kind of moment. That, I mean,
You could
honestly, I feel like that saved the game for me. Like,
Oh.
I still didn't know how I felt about the game up to.
Oh yeah, I
that
forgot.
point.
I forgot how you were reacting to that game.
Yeah, it was really weird. And I mean, yeah,
It's a weird one.
It's weird. Another one I'm gonna point out is from Watchmen. I think it's issue 3 or 4. It's called Fearful Symmetry, and one of the reasons why people have always said that Watchmen was unfilmable is because part of the like storytelling of the story is so reliant on the comic book format.
Sure.
And this issue like is kind of the center of that, because the whole issue is it's about like Fearful Symmetry is the issue where they're like getting into the conspiracy and about Adrian Veidt's like role in it, and it's when someone's made a threat on his life, and it's also the scene where like, you know, the assassin tries to kill him and then he like beats the assassin down in the lobby of his building, right? Well, the whole layout of that book is actually mirrored. So like every like paneling, like every like layout of panel on the pages moving forward is mirrored in the second half of the book, and the centerfold of the book is like the 2 pages coming together, and then one like long panel that goes from top to bottom that is shared by both pages across the centerfold, and that panel is the scene where Adrian's like punching or like attacking the assassin, and then the whole rest of the book kind of like runs backwards through the panel layout.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and it's like there's so many little things in that book that are incredible and like really well thought out, and like really are kind of like, if you've only seen the movie, really lost, you know? Yeah.
I recently watched like the director's cut of that.
Oh, the super duper extended version with the Black Freighter and all that shit.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the Black Freighter.
I didn't even know they did that.
Dude, it's like fucking 3.5 hours long.
Oh,
is that the Zack Snyder movie?
Yeah. I just didn't understand it all. Like it caught me off guard, and I didn't know. We don't need to get into it.
Yeah.
Let's not.
No,
honestly.
like, I could do a whole podcast about that.
All right, let's just move on. Next question from Nikki. Oh, thanks, Nick.
Oh, you're welcome.
More of a tech-related question rather than game-related.
Definitely not me then.
I've heard you guys talk a bit about software development during previous podcasts.
Okay.
And I get the impression that some of you are currently working in that field. Do you have any tips for someone who is just starting out and wants to get into the business side of software development? Are there any coding languages you see as essential in today's job market, for instance?
Well, I'm more into web development. You're in software development, right? Mm-hmm. So that's probably more for you.
Goodness. Don't do .NET.
Shell-based languages.
Don't do shell-based. I mean, don't be wrong. You should know Bash scripting. That's very important no matter what technology you're in, just because it's fairly relevant. Python is good, just because it's fairly... I would say Python's an easy language to pick up, just because of how it flows. But because it's not statically typed, you could kind of lock yourself into... writing things a little sloppier. You'll find yourselves, while try-catches are very convenient, they lead you to just have a shit ton of like try-catch everything, and it's not very good. For the past year and a half, I've been writing in Golang, which is Google's programming language.
Golang.
It is very statically typed. It is a fairly new language, so it doesn't have a lot of built-in packages that kind of just do everything for you, so you kind of have to do a lot on your own, but I kind of like that because
it's easier to learn it.
Pardon?
Makes it easier to
Yeah, you really have to
you're not relying
understand
on it to do it for
the
you.
language, and you really have to understand what you're trying to do. And that's one of the reasons I really like it. Rust is kind of picking up a lot lately. That might be something you want to look into. But it also depends on if you're looking more at back end or front end. I lean towards React when it comes to front end. Not a fan of Vue. React is JavaScript. It's a good framework, I guess. I guess that's kind of the best I can give you for now. As far as like the best way to learn all that stuff, I mean, in all honesty, there's plenty of online stuff for free. Go has it's a Go playground, and you can literally just go and just do a bunch of shit
There's some relatively cheap places too that have like if you want to go the route where you actually pay for like lessons and whatnot. There's some pretty good places that that have some like really detailed, like really good lessons that teach all kinds of languages, whether it's programming or web development, whatever it may be, but a broad range of topics that are fairly cheap.
Human resource machine.
I mean, yeah. If
7
you want to learn
billion
some
humans.
assembly. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Next question from Ash. What's your guys' favorite guilty pleasure films? I've seen Pacific Rim, Creed, and Groundhog Day too many times to count when I'm cooking or cleaning or painting minis.
Oh, wait. Groundhog Day is not a guilty pleasure film.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to feel guilty
Well,
about that.
let's not say guilty pleasure. Let's say what's like those movies that you
Like
just
a comfort food
yes,
film?
exactly, comfort food,
Well,
something
that's
you'll
a
watch.
different.
That's a completely different
Well,
question.
I mean, I would not call Pacific.
Okay, do
I mean,
one of
Pacific
each.
Rim.
Pacific Rim's kind of...
Yeah, I said that.
That's a guilt.
I said
Although
that.
I feel like I've been harsh on that movie in the
Dude,
past.
that movie's actually pretty good.
Dragon Ball Z.
It's
Fuck you,
okay. It is super okay. It's fine.
What We Do in the Shadows
It's
is
fine.
is not
Harry
like a-
Potter is not a guilty
is
pleasure.
Is not a guilty
do,
pleasure.
Do a
It is
comfort
comfort
food and a guilty pleasure.
Okay.
Do one of each.
Comfort food for me is Harry Potter.
Sure.
I can watch those movies infinite amounts of times. Guilty
You
pleasure.
mean guilty pleasure?
Wait, what did I say?
Wow, this
Comfort
is a
food?
big question.
No, that's my bitch. That's my comfort food.
One of my guilty pleasure movies would be Judge Dredd.
Oh,
Not Dredd.
Not
yeah,
Judge.
yeah,
Judge
Dredd.
Dredd.
Yeah.
Starring Sylvester Stallone
Stallone,
and
yeah.
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider. Ooh,
Oh, it's so
that's
good.
a good guilty pleasure. Surf Ninjas.
Yeah, something like that.
Kwanzaa.
Comfort food film for me would be Grand Budapest Hotel.
Ooh,
I've watched that movie
that's a
so
fucking good
many
one.
times. Or maybe Force Awakens too. I've watched that
That's-
so many times.
That's your as comfort food.
Yeah.
God, I'm trying to think of what my guilty pleasure would be. I know there's probably a lot. I don't have my shelf right in front of me to like look at all
The
my
Mummy
shit.
2.
Oh,
No, the Mummy 1 was probably Jesus Christ.
No,
I
The
can't even
Mummy
tell you.
1's cool.
I can't even tell you how many times I've seen the original Mummy, guys. Way more than I thought I would ever see in my
Indiana
lifetime.
Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Ugh. Comfort food, The Martian.
Oh, come on.
I love that one.
I can't answer this.
Why not?
It's just those movies that either
Guilty
A,
pleasure? This
you
is-
watch a shit ton,
It's
or
too
B,
much of
even
a-
though you know it's like bad, you still like
Guilty pleasure. The
I don't rewatch a lot of movies.
the recent Ridley Scott alien movies, as in
Prometheus?
Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I watched Alien Covenant recently, and I was
You're
like,
a bad person.
and the entire time I was watching, I was like, "You fuck these guys! I like this movie.
I mean,
these guys!
As far
fuck
as
these guys."
as far as guilty pleasure, I guess I could say that it's surprising how much I'll sit down and actually pay attention to like a Pixar or Disney movie that Henry's watched 1,000 times
those are
this
good
year.
films.
No, but those are like really well made.
Well, once you've seen it 100 times and you're still sitting down to like watch a scene,
That's because
Yeah,
that's
but
such a fucking
that's like
good
a guilty
movie.
pleasure.
No, that's a comfort food.
No, it's
Yes.
not comforting. I'm just watching it.
Guilty
What do
pleasure.
you mean? What?
When I've watched it every day of the week,
That's fine. Guilty
I don't
pleasure.
understand.
The bench warmers.
The bench warmers.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a guilty pleasure.
Have you seen that movie?
No.
With what's his face? From Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh my god, I did see that movie in theaters when it came out.
With like
Oh,
Rob Schneider
yeah.
and John.
No, that's a bad
Heder.
movie.
Here we
That's
go.
a bad movie.
I said guilty pleasure.
Here we go. Guilty pleasure. I watched this. Robin introduced me to this movie, and now I've seen it like 5 times, and I like it every time. The Holiday.
The fuck is
oh
that?
my
I know.
god!
What is that?
With, it's a fucking chick flick with Kate Winslet and Jack Black, and
I don't know that.
Okay, I
one.
don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know, but I've seen it like 5 times, and I was like, every time I watch it, I sit there and I watch the whole movie.
Wow.
It's a pretty good movie. Fuck it.
trying to
Fuck it. It's a good movie.
It probably is.
Guilty pleasure. Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I don't know if this applies anymore, but when I was younger, I watched this movie more times than I can. This is probably healthy. Under Siege with Steven Seagal.
Oh,
my
you
God.
just liked it because she has the boobies.
Actually, my favorite one was Under Siege 2,
And the cave.
Wait,
there
is that
weren't-
the one on the train?
the one in the train.
The train.
Yeah.
But Under Siege 1 is the one where she pops out of the
I
cake.
just saw that like
Yeah.
a week ago.
Really?
It's bad.
I bought that.
Wait, the
so
second or the
bad.
first one?
Where he's getting his niece and the bad
That's
guys
the
are stealing a
train.
satellite.
That's the second one.
That's the second one. Second
Nick,
one, yeah.
that literally is the only scene I remember from the first movie.
That's rightfully so. But
and yes, Grandma's Boy is a good guilty pleasure.
I fucking bought Under Siege 1 and 2 on Blu-ray because they had it in the bargain bin at Best Buy. I bought it for $5. Had both movies, and I was like, you know what? I'll probably watch this again one day. Yes, Dark Territory. Thank you, Chris Davis. Under Siege 2, Dark Territory.
Comfort food. Little Miss Sunshine.
Okay.
I've seen that film at least like 10 times.
All right,
if
we
not
need to move
more.
on. We've spent a lot of
Yeah,
time
we
on
do.
this question.
Oh, we like stuff. One of our new patrons, Scuderia.
Scoot area.
Hey guys, been a fan since the Brad Fatal Frame and Condemned days. I'm British, and one of the reasons I love GTA so much. What? Why did you have to preface that?
Casually slide that in there. By the way, I'm British.
One of the reasons I love GTA so much is the depiction of the U.S. and the American way of life
From the eyes of a
from a
British
satirical
yeah,
and
yeah.
typical cynical British perspective,
Yeah.
specifically Scottish.
Yeah.
With Watch Dogs 3 on the way, set in London, but made by Canadian devs, what are some of the ways you think Britain will be made fun of, despite the obvious bad teeth? Also, a side note, I
that still
wrote
a
this
thing?
entire thing in Nick's voice.
Is that really? Is that still a thing?
Bad teeth?
Like the
You-
bat?
you
I thought that
so
was like a stereotype from like the '60s or something, but I figured it was better now.
Bad teeth and colonialism.
There you go.
Alrighty.
Bad food.
There's gonna be a lot of
Bad, yeah,
Bland
boiled,
food.
Bad
boiled
food.
food.
Bland
Yeah.
food. I wouldn't say bad.
Tea.
Bland.
There'll be a lot of tea jokes.
Yeah, a lot of boiled. They just put
There's
chicken
gonna-
in water and then take it out and eat
Classes.
it.
There's gonna be like a lot of like, really exaggerated accents to the point of
Cobbles.
like ridiculousness.
Oh yeah,
Chimney
Cockney
sweeps.
accent. Oh yeah, chimney sweeps. Yeah, definitely. Double decker buses.
There's gonna be some Harry Potter references for
You
sure.
know what? This seems like-
Racism.
This seems like as good a time as any to bring it up. I don't think controversial statement. I don't think GTA qualifies really as satire.
What?
It's funny. They make a lot of jokes, but there's no point of view to the whole thing.
Yeah.
There's no implied alternative. There's no target. There's no reason. There's no ethos behind it. It's just kind of like this
I don't
is
think
fun.
that's true.
It's just
some of the characters.
It's just
are,
roasting
like,
America
very-
because it's all
They're
true.
I think it's
exaggerations.
parody. I don't think it's
it
satire.
is parody. Yeah.
There we go.
which are very different things.
I think some characters are satire.
For sure. Policemen with tall hats.
Oh, bucket, like
Yeah.
bucket hat, like helmets.
Oh,
and they have to go like every cop has to be like, "What's all this then?"
oi!
Oi!
There's lots of
What's
oys.
all this then?
Yeah.
Oh, driving on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, but they do that.
Bash your fucking head in.
Oh, you think there's going to be a lot of Brexit humor?
Probably.
Oh God, I feel like
Yeah.
yeah.
Boris
for sure.
Johnson humor?
Oh no.
I don't think it's going to be humor. I think it's going to be
like,
more
when-
biting.
When
than
you're
that.
when you're driving, the GPS in the car will be like, take the next Brexit on the left.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to
Enter
be a
the
joke
motorway.
in Watch Dogs, though.
right.
I think it's going to be...
All right, moving on. Powerful musk ox.
Musk ox.
What was the last game where you encountered something in the game, whether it was some gameplay mechanic or something else, that caused you to just stop playing the game and never pick it up again?
I don't think I've ever had that knee-jerk reaction before.
I definitely
I do
have.
that a lot.
Wait, what did you say, Chris Davis? Super hot. Wait, super
Wow.
hot.
What the fuck?
I feel like we need to turn his
did
mic.
you
Get the fuck out of this building!
Because the game tells you to.
What?
Huh?
It does.
It does tell you
the
to stop,
original
but I mean,
version.
that's like at the end of the game.
That's against the
But
spirit
who
of the
actually
question.
does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Against the spirit of the question.
Yeah. Boo this man.
I don't think I've ever had that knee-jerk reaction where I've anytime I stop playing a game altogether, it's like a steady, like slow. build
I almost
where I'm
stopped
just
playing
like,
Dead Space at the asteroid turret sequence.
I guess that is a good point, Nick. I think a lot of the times that I give up on games, I don't just immediately give up.
Yeah,
I
you-
give them a little more time, and I'm like, all right, this isn't going to change.
yeah, don't ever judge a whole game based on like, you know,
A
But
single
again,
mechanic
singular
it's not
thing.
about judging the game. It's about, I'm not putting up with this shit. I'm done.
Zoids, that Xbox 360 Zoids game I played, dude, I fucking
I
dropped
played
that shit
game
like
for
it was
20
hot.
minutes. Yeah, but there wasn't any one thing that.
There was one fucking level where I was like, "This game's bullshit."
No. I mean, that whole game
I
is
know.
bad.
I know.
It's bad.
I'm trying to think.
There was a escort mission in the Robotech Battle Cry. I don't remember what the fucking subtitle was.
These are different games.
It was like it was a PS2.
Yeah, Robotech Battle Cry.
Robotech Battle Cry, and I was really into that game, and it's not very good, but I really, really, really liked it. And later on in the game, like in the back half of the game, there's an escort mission in space where you're trying to like stop this transport ship from getting destroyed, and it's so fucking difficult that I just like stopped playing the game, and I never went back.
All right, there we go.
Gears of War, the credits. Sorry, the title screen.
The title.
Yeah. I was like, fuck this shit.
Wow, throwing some serious Gears shade.
Mm-hmm. I own one Gears of War game that I won in a raffle, and I've never opened it.
Watch Nolan like try Gears of War once. And he's like,
what
"Oh my
the
god, I
fuck-
love this game."
What is with this fucking background? I've been looking at it. First of all, why did you pick just Gears for this background?
Okay, first
the
of
dude
all-
on the left is clearly from some like fantasy game.
That's a lady.
And
by
like
the way.
this dude in the bottom right is like from Gears 3. That's like some low
No,
res,
it's from
like
the Division.
like a 360 character. Like what is this shit?
Brad, that is the key art for the game. That is what's on the box.
Why is he not detailed like the rest of them?
Because he's a little dude.
He is Brad.
That is actually how big he is. Compared
Yeah,
to the other
he's
character.
like Joseph
He's
size.
the little guy.
Oh my god.
The guy on the left is
That's
from
a lady.
Spears of War. Hunted the Demon's Forge.
She's also like.
All right,
Okay, never mind.
let's move on. We got
I
more
don't
questions.
even know why I'm trying to answer his stupid question.
Tots Camp, one of our new patrons. I just watched Rushmore the other day,
Okay.
and it made me realize how much I love Wes Anderson films. Do you guys have any favorite directors or actresses to the point that you try to see all of their movies?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Wes
for
Anderson
sure.
is one.
If you want to talk actors, Leonardo DiCaprio is someone.
Okay.
Wait, I put
What?
wait, directors?
that's not
Wait,
a-
you said directors or actors?
Or actors,
Or
actresses.
I will.
Oh, like-
I will pretty much watch any movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
I mean, he's a
I
good
mean,
actor.
Coen Brothers, Paul
That's the
Thomas
point of the
Anderson.
question.
Coen Brothers is
Yeah.
good. Sam Rockwell. I will watch any movie Sam Rockwell is in, including the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I was once this way about Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes. I know. He's in the movie.
Help me out.
Taika Waititi.
Denis
Taika Waititi.
Villeneuve.
Yeah, Villeneuve.
Yeah, I will watch that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Edgar
watch-
Wright.
The first such director that I saw their first movie when it first came out and was like, I'm gonna watch everything this dude makes, was Ryan Johnson. Actually,
Ryan Johnson.
Really?
Okay.
I watched Brick when I
Brick?
was in film school, and
Brick
I was
was
like,
really
How do you
that
feel
was
about
incredible.
the Brothers Bloom was on Malia's list for that actress Rachel Weisz?
Rachel Weisz. Okay.
I like Brothers Bloom. I think it's probably his weakest movie.
Yeah.
But it's
You see, Knives Out is getting pretty good.
So
Pretty good.
oh,
talk.
yeah.
wait.
I used to be this way about Richard Linklater, but he does a lot of like
Weird stuff.
movies that aren't so
Oh.
amazing, but like when he's on, he's really on, and
Steven Soderbergh.
yeah, Steven
Ooh.
Because
Soderbergh.
Steven Soderbergh makes great movies, and then
Yes.
he'll pump out like two Magic Mikes, which I'm sure
Yeah.
are fantastic
They-
films. But like, I just kind of am not gonna go watch that, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah.
oh man, like
Paul Thomas Anderson. If
Paul
y'all
Thomas
didn't hear me
Anderson's
earlier,
pretty
for
good,
sure.
yeah.
oh my god, Inherent Vice.
Inherent Vice is pretty good.
Moto Pancake.
Honestly, more and more so lately. Anything with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
Like,
mean,
I
he's just
always
makes-
forget
he
how
makes
good of a
choices.
fucking actor he is.
Did you
What
watch
was
that?
the movie where he was the
Her.
hitman?
Hitman.
It has a really weird long
Inherent
name.
Vice?
No, it's a recent movie. It's like one of the last movies he did before Joker.
Oh, yeah. I
didn't
watched
see
that.
this.
Someone in chat has to
It's
know.
got one of those names.
I haven't watched too many movies. lately.
yeah, I watched
it's the one where he
it.
beats the dude to death with a hammer in
He's
the
got a
trailer.
big beard.
I'm out
Yeah.
of the loop. Oh, never mind. I know what you're talking
I
about.
want to watch that so bad.
Gotcha.
Oh,
that
I've,
was-
I've seen it.
That was when
good?
that
Yeah,
was
it's
when
very
he
good.
was when he was like promoting that he was doing all those like interviews on talk shows. And he was
Yeah.
being really fucking weird.
You never.
Yeah,
were-
did you ever
you
watch
You were
that?
never really.
You were
there.
never
You were
really
never
there.
really
Here or
here.
there.
Yeah.
Did you ever
Yeah,
watch that
it's good.
fucking movie? That doc that they did about that.
Speaking of your mic,
weird
I can hear you.
The fake documentary or whatever.
Oh, I didn't watch.
I heard
that.
maybe don't watch that, but yeah, he makes good choices usually.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, what's that? What's that new movie he's in coming out about the
Joker?
I forget what it's
that
called.
does crimes?
Yeah, it's the comedy, right?
The 4-chaner?
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Fortune.
That's more like the 8
I
channer.
can't.
The 8-chaner?
Fucking wait.
All right. Anyway, let's move on because we got more questions. Don Dolan,
Martin Scorsese.
Don Dolan.
what's been your most inconvenient poop moment?
Oh my god.
I plead the fifth. I have told the story.
Don't you mean you plead the second?
I told the story before where I got the. Let's just say I had trouble. I had some trouble
You get the bubble gut.
Stress.
at the Terracotta Army and museum.
Did you poop in a pot?
No. No, but I was yeah.
Out there with a load of shit.
But yeah, when I was there, I had some serious
Bubble
Dude,
gut.
problems.
Tuesday.
Bubble gut.
Dude, bubble gut. When
Tuesday.
it's all like, like all like rumbling, and you're like, "Ugh."
So I work in an office that doesn't have like a ton of people, so everyone just pays attention to what everybody else is doing.
yeah. Everyone times your poops.
Yeah. And
3 minutes 48 seconds today, Brad.
I don't know if I ate something really bad, but it was awful. And I was on the toilet for like a long time to the point where I was like, I texted my supervisor and I just said, I'm going home.
Brad's like, I've actually been home
And
for
I
the
just,
past 30 minutes.
I just left. I didn't go back to the office. I just left. And I went home. I picked up Henry from daycare later. It was great. Played a bunch of Monster Hunter. This was Tuesday.
very, very recently. Inconvenient poop.
The best years are still ahead of you.
It's like, no, that's the that's that scene from the Simpsons movie or whatever. It's like, this is the worst day of my life.
Oh my god.
The worst day of your life so far. I'm crying. So I will say that literally on Saturday, I was running, and it was.
I already don't like where this is
It
going.
was a 7-mile run, and like around 3.5
It would have
miles
been 8.
in, around 3.5 miles in, I'm like, all right, I'm probably going to need to either A, there's still some construction going on in my neighborhood, maybe stop at one of these porta potties, or B, modify my route to swing by the house real quick, because the bubble gut's happening, and it is not comfortable.
Bubble gut.
Yeah.
The bubblies.
Exactly. So I'm running down the street. So I'm getting close to like 4 miles, and I'm like, I'm just gonna fart a little bit.
No, you don't have to finish the story, Nolan.
And so
You don't have to finish it.
So I fart a lot, and it was all good. That's all it was. It was just gas. But like, it was a lot of
never
it.
know.
Like a real big fart.
Yeah.
It just has like a lot of volume to it.
Yeah. And honestly, I ran a lot better after it. Like, if you look at my splits from that run, right after that mile,
You're a new man.
I got faster.
It was just propelling you forward.
Well, I mean, for like 30 seconds. Wow. Yes, I did take a big gamble, big wazoo, but I will say I was also like maybe less than a quarter mile from my house at the time.
Good God.
So I was doing like the loop I was doing. I was still close to home. So if things would have gone bad,
Bet big, win big.
Oh my God, guys! I'm still over here crying from thinking of Brad texting his boss from the toilet.
yeah.
Whew, okay, how many more questions do we have?
All right, more questions. Let's go.
I have the
mine
text
was
message right here if you want to
Mine
see.
was a whitewater rafting story.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God, really?
It became a brown water rafting.
But we'll save that for another time.
All right, moving on. Next question from Zero Skies. What's your greatest fear of how The Last of Us 2 could turn out?
Oh my god.
We've had this
we've already
discussion.
told you.
We did talk about this
Joel's
earlier.
a ghost. That's the greatest fear.
He's a ghost.
I don't even know what would be worse, if it was like in her head or if he was actually like a real fucking ghost. And they're like, oh yeah, ghosts are a thing in this world.
Well, I mean, zombies are. Why not ghosts?
Oh yeah, I mean, like, there's the fucking cordyceps virus also does weird things to soul. I don't. Fuck no.
I don't really. This is a game I'm pretty confident in, but
You shouldn't be.
oh,
You shouldn't be confident in anything you haven't played.
Well, that's not. far
I'm
from the
too
truth.
much of an optimist for that.
Yeah.
That is actually all the
You're a ray of
questions
sunshine in a dark,
on
dreary
Patreon, and we don't have any on from our supporters on Twitch.
Wait, was that
Fuck
that was
you.
it?
Yeah,
We're done.
I'm looking back through
Cool.
supporter questions, and now we don't have any new
All
ones.
right, I have a supporter spotlight, and then we can wrap up with the 4-player minute. All right,
Damn.
our supporter spotlight for the week. I didn't know we were coming up with into questions so quickly. Come on, load, you son of a bitch. Someone talk.
You son of a bitch. You
yeah,
son
the-
of a bitch.
All right, I found it. I
Poop
found
You
it.
son of a
All right,
bitch.
poop.
Nick only likes single-player games. He thinks Nolan should die.
All right. All right, our supporter spotlight for the week. By the way, if you are a supporter on Twitch or on $3 or higher pledge on Patreon, you can go into our Discord at discord.gg/4player and access the supporter spotlight channel. There is a pinned message in there with a link. Click that link, fill out the form, answer some questions about your general taste in games and stuff like that, and we will pick someone at random and read a few of their responses every episode. Our supporter spotlight this week is Wingless, or Chris from Seattle, Washington.
Nice.
Everybody ready for this?
I am ready.
Nice.
All right.
How's Seattle, by the way, Chris?
Rainy.
Probably better than here.
What is one interesting
Brad.
fact about yourself that you would like the community to know? He says, outside of gaming, I used to skateboard for over 14 years.
Damn, Tony Hawk up in here.
Here's mine.
I stopped... What?
Outside of gaming, I used to skateboard for 15 years, bitch.
Damn.
really?
No.
You're
Okay.
stealing the spotlight.
He says, I stopped for a while because I thought I had aged out of it. Fuck that. I just started up again at the young age of 28. Life is short. Make sure you do the things that you're passionate about, even if you faceplant. Why do you think we're still here?
Inspiring.
It's true.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Facts.
That is good. That's a good thing to live by. Thank you. Top 5 games of all time. Number 5, Fable.
3.
2.
Well, it's not going to be 3. I'd say 2.
1. Fable 1.
Okay.
A
He
true
says-
Xbot.
Revolutionary open world game with Was it open? I feel like I need to go back and replay it.
It was open.
It was.
It was
All right.
open.
He says, revolutionary open world game with exciting combat and interesting enemy design also gave me the phrase chicken chaser that I still say until this day.
Is this Peter Molyneux?
So
Of
much
course it
nostalgia in this. Hope they make a new one soon. I'm totally with you on them making a new one soon without Peter Molyneux and all the
Yeah.
baggage that comes with that.
A good one.
I'll be honest, the first Fable, I was obsessed with that when it first came out just because like it had this like such a unique like atmosphere to it, which is why I've been desperately trying to like get back into that series, even though I didn't like 2 very much, I didn't like 3 very much, but the first one was special. But I hope they make a 4th one. Titanfall.
1.
You say that so matter-of-factly.
It's got to be 2, right?
No, it's got to be 2.
Yeah, it's definitely 2.
Could have been 1.
Titanfall 2, spiritual successor to Half-Life 2 in a first-person shooter setting with mechs? In question mark? That's a spiritual successor to Half-Life 2 is a bold statement.
That's a...
Time traveling mechanics mixed with puzzle solving and free running in what I expected to be a linear first-person shooter map? Question mark. The world needs and deserves a 3rd. Respawn deserves a better than to be chained to the metaphorical radiator of Apex Legends in EA's basement. That is true, but they are also working on a new Star Wars game, so I guess we'll wait and see how that turns out. But if Titanfall 2 is any indication, it's going to be pretty good. Number 3, BioShock.
2.
Bioshock.
Infinite.
Period.
Okay, I see what you're doing. Yes, BioShock 1. While it might not hold up to other games released today based on the same standards, this game blew my mind when it came out, going into it blind. The twist, the different levels and biomes within the underwater city, the socio-economic commentary, and dark horror. Anybody remember the Human Corpse art piece?
Yep.
Make this leaps and bounds beyond just the run-of-the-mill first-person shooter game on rails. I totally agree. I think that game, even though the game kind of fell on its butt at the end, I think most of that game was pretty fucking incredible. I actually got that collection fairly recently, and I want to go back and play the first 2 again. Maybe Infinite. I don't know. Number 2, Resident Evil.
4.
2.
4.
It's 4.
4.
This might not be the
Gotta
best game
be.
for the right reasons on paper, but you got to give it up for one of the most fun games ever. Does the plot need to make sense when you can shoot bad guys on an extended minecart chase with quick time events?
No.
That's the thing that stuck
Yeah,
out
what?
to you? That's like my
I don't
least
think
favorite
that's
part of that
I
game.
don't think that's the best part of the game.
No, whatever. It's brilliant.
No, it's a fantastic.
No, but that's the thing. That's the thing about Resident Evil 4. You can name like any sequence in that game, and it's like standout. Could be someone's favorite.
No,
you
yeah,
know,
that is
'cause
true. That is true.
It's so awesome.
Quit bullying him, guys.
Yeah. Fuck this dude.
Lots of brilliant small mechanics that have added to the genre ever since. You can't not like Resident Evil 4. You're just lying to others or yourself. And his number one game of all time, Halo.
That's a false
gotta be
statement.
Combat Evolved.
He's
right?
a liar.
It could be Halo 2. He could be one of those people.
Combat
It's gonna
Evolved.
follow up with just kidding. Never mind. It's
I'm gonna go with Halo 2.
It's Halo 2. Good job, Crispy. Yeah, you Sony fanboys, that's right. Halo 2 is one of the greatest games of all time.
You know what's funny? I called him an Xbot as soon as he said Fable 1, and I fucking knew it.
Totally.
of course.
Brought the
He
advent...
lives in Seattle. It's right next to Red
He
whatever.
could be a Nintendo fan.
Redwood.
Red
what-
penis.
Get it out, Crispy.
Chris, what's it called?
Red Dead Redemption.
Redwood
Why do you
Studios.
ask Chris
No,
Davis?
where is it?
Redmond.
Redmond. Thank you.
Of
See,
course
he knew. He knew.
Of course he did. He's been there.
He says, brought the advent of first-person shooter games, multiplayer momentum, online gameplay, and redefined how games were made almost 15 years ago at this point.
I love Halo.
I'll
2.
1v1 you
Halo's
on
just
Lockout if you want me to change this ranking.
Wow, that's really
I
aggressive.
mean,
Dude,
Halo...
I'll
I
fuck
believe
you.
him.
Fuck you.
Halo 2 is a fucking fantastic
I
game.
love Lockout.
Do you remember the gameplay demo they put out before that game came out that isn't actually in the game?
No.
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 I don't.
The answer is no.
Okay.
But Brad, I'm going to read one more response from him, and this is going to redeem him in your eyes.
Okay.
We ask, what is a game that you consider to be underrated that you wish more people would play, and why? His
Wait,
answer...
I know it's Grabbed by the Ghoulies or some other Xbox exclusive.
No, Brad. His answer is Thronebreaker, Witcher Tales.
Yeah. I mean, he's fucking right.
He says, Brad is right. It's an excellent game that really doesn't get it due.
Poser Witcher fans.
Go get it if you want to play something different and interesting instead of yet another playthrough of Barbie horse riding adventures.
Thronebreaker?
Yeah, it's great. Great story.
Yeah.
Great game.
There we go.
Oh, I've never heard of that game. What is it?
Go play Thronebreaker, says Wangless. All right. That is our supporter spotlight. Thank you very much, Chris, from Seattle, Washington. We appreciate it. And
More like from Redmond, Washington.
from Redmond,
Am I-
Washington. All right. Let's wrap up the show with the 4-player minute. Brad, are you ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Am I right?
My hype is for Indivisible. Comes out just a couple weeks now. That's the new are y'all know what Indivisible is? Okay. The new
What? Fucking yes.
RPG Metroidvania
Actually, I
that is
saw
an
that game
homage
at,
to Valkyrie
E3,
Profile.
So
You bitch.
Oh, thanks, Crispy. Indivisible from the creators of Skullgirls. I'm very excited. Hope it's cool.
Level 5's publishing it?
505.
505. I always get them fucking mixed up.
Hype
505.
Indivisible. My sweat.
I know there's a 5 in there.
My sweat is for Halloween. The last 2 years, the weather's been shit,
Yeah, that is true.
and I have not been able to take my son trick or treating because first year or 2 years ago
So
he
you
was
mean-
only 2 months old,
so you mean
but it was like freezing cold.
You haven't been able to walk around trick or treating and getting candy.
Yes, well, it's just a thing I want to do. And last year it was pouring rain. So
Yeah, it was pretty
I'm
bad
really
last
hoping
year.
that this year we don't have shitty weather 3 years in a row because that's what you do as a parent. You dress up your child, you go fucking trick or treating, and I like to do it. God damn it, I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. What's so funny? What's so funny, bitch?
I'm just thinking, like, if you take a small, I'm just thinking of the person who
Your child,
who
hopefully.
receives trick or treaters, and like they get a trick or treater that's just like an adult with like a baby, and then you're just like, this is just you trick or treating. Like, this isn't the baby trick or treating. They're not gonna remember.
Well,
this. They don't care.
Henry's 2 now.
You're gonna eat this candy.
Henry's 2 now.
Well, yeah.
Henry-
Now he's okay.
Yeah,
But last year,
we're still gonna eat most of the candy.
last year,
What if we all went trick-or-treating
He
together?
doesn't get to eat
for-
candy. My thank you goes to Windlefer, who for the past 2 Friday streams with me, he stayed up till 2 a.m. in the morning with me, grinding out that Iceborne, and he's gonna do it again tomorrow.
Does he know he's going to?
Yeah, he knows.
Okay.
I have a,
Like, wow.
he thinks we're gonna finish the story, but in reality, I've been coming up with a laundry list of shit I want to grind out. So we're probably gonna be doing that instead. I want to get my Raider Riders, buddy. And my fuck you goes to Apple Arcade for secretly stealing all these dope games, and I have an iPad, but it's too old to play Apple Arcade stuff. Nick, My fuck you will be Nick if he doesn't hook me up with that phone, because
As soon as I get my dick pics off the phone,
fucking
it's all
Cappy
yours.
Games, creators of the greatest puzzle game of all time, Might and Magic Clash of Heroes, has put out a new puzzle game, and it's only on this Apple Arcade
Just
thing.
so you
And
know,
I need a fucking compatible iOS device to play it. Nolan's probably playing it right now because he's dickhole.
He just closed it.
Just so you know, the battery on that phone that I'm going to lend you is like.
I don't care
terrible.
about the battery. What I need to know is it a 6 or a 6S, because
I'll text you tonight.
a 6 is no compatibility. 6S works. I'll play it plugged in. I just want to play the fucking
I think
game.
it's a 6S. I'll double check.
It will be a success if it is.
All right,
And that's
Nolan,
it.
start your 4-player minute
I don't
now.
know. I'm busy playing Grindstone.
The game's called Grindstone, and I don't really want to play it.
It's pretty fucking good.
Fuck you.
All right, my 4-player minute starts. I wasn't playing Grindstone, honestly.
Android for life!
Okay. 4-player minute starts now. My hype is for Canada. I'm going to Canada next week.
Cool.
I'm excited for it. I've
Yeah?
never been to the Great White North
Oh.
or
What are you
Tim
gonna,
Hortons.
What are you going to do up there? Be not
Pretty
hot?
much just going to spend my whole time at Tim Hortons. Eating poutine.
Yeah,
good
team.
Good
yeah.
plan. Good plan.
My sweat goes for the weather in Canada because yes, while it will not be hot, it will be fucking like rainy. And then like our last day or two of the trip, it's gonna be like mid 40s and like raining. So not looking forward to that.
Yeah, still better than 100 degrees.
That is true. My thank you goes for the community members who have reached out to me, giving me some tips on what to do there. But if you haven't and you still want to, give me some tips on what to do while I am there. I'm going to be in the Niagara Falls area and then Toronto. So if you have anything, you can hit me up in Discord.
4-player community meetup. With
Tweet at
Nolan.
me. Let me know. Still looking for stuff to do. And my fuck you is obviously you can go to Naughty Dog. Fuck you. Give me factions too.
All right.
Fuck you,
Fuck
Neil
yeah.
Way to keep
Druckmann.
it brief.
Fuck Neil Druckmann.
All right, Crispy.
My fuck you of the week goes to Neil Druckmann and
Yeah.
Naughty Dog.
Fuck
Fuck you. My fuck you of the week goes to that lady that rode on my car. That was unnecessary. My fuck you of the week goes to fucking Star Wars fans. I'm fucking sick of it. Oh my god.
What's up now?
What do you mean? What's up
What
now?
is
It's
enough
the same. It's the same shit for the last year.
Are you saying Star Wars fans or
Oh,
Star
oh,
Wars
you know what?
fans?
As
fans?
always.
Fans.
Okay.
Yeah. So like Bob Iger put out his memoir earlier this week, and in it there's a part where he's talking about the Disney Star Wars deal, and he's saying that he kind of regrets that George Lucas felt hurt and betrayed by the deal because they didn't use his story outlines for the new movies.
Yeah.
After they gave him $4 billion.
Yeah.
and like that section of the Star Wars fandom is just kind of using that as more fuel of like Disney's ruining Star Wars and everything's terrible and we love you. And you know what it is? I think it's like this is the first thing that has really made me feel old. This is the first thing that's like, because I know all of these people are like the people who were children
Yeah.
when like Revenge of the Sith came out.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
And it's like now they're grown up and they're adults who can talk and say dumb shit, and it's just like I just feel so disconnected from a big portion of this fan. Well, not big, but like from a certain portion of this fan base, and it's like, man.
And what about
you guys just don't know what a good movie is. That's all. And look, I get it. Disney's the fucking evil empire, and like there's a million reasons to hate Disney legitimately, but like,
I mean, definitely.
come on, this isn't it.
Yeah.
Come on.
This is not the hill to die on.
Yeah. Okay, so that was 3 fuck yous.
You got one more fuck you. Come on.
My last fuck you of the week goes to
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. No, actually, I started a new campaign.
MMOs.
Goes to my friends who are like fucking sleeping on Destiny 2 Shadowkeep. I want to play it, and I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time getting my squad back together
You should go right in there
because they all want to go. Like they're like I've been playing Apex Legends with these people, and they're all like, I fucking hate this game now, which makes sense because that game is infuriating.
How about
Not if you're good.
You should go right on their
No,
windshields with
it's
lipstick.
infuriating.
How about this? Fuck you to the person who just won Mega Millions because they literally bought the Quick Pick from the corner store I go to
Really?
to get gas and buy snacks all the time.
Wait, do you buy lottery tickets there?
I don't, but like if I did, so like it's no. Listen, it's impossible to win the lottery, right?
Basically.
But there's no way two people are going to get it from the same fucking gas station.
Correct.
So now I should just never play the lottery because, I mean, that's
gotcha.
absurd, right?
Yes, the odds
Why
of
were
that.
you playing the lottery?
No, I wasn't. I've never played the lottery. But what I'm saying
Why are you mad?
Because now he can't.
because now it's like cosmically stupid for me to buy
It was already cosmically.
no,
It's even worse.
But before it was like, a fun idea, right?
No.
Like no, listen. you could like dream like just a fun idea. Let's just fucking spend a couple bucks on the lottery, whatever, right?
Sure.
But now it's like literally there's no way for me to win from the same place
Brad.
the person just won.
Why don't you just
You
go
know
to
there's
a
another gas station,
different
right?
gas station? There's a lot of them in Austin.
There's
actually.
at least 5.
I went around counting one day. There's a bunch of them.
There's at
I
least
don't
10
live
gas stations.
I don't
this
live in
city.
Austin.
Maybe
okay.
a few more.
I could see 2 people winning in Austin.
You work in Austin though. You have to drive into and out of the city every day.
What I'm saying is it's going to be in like Kansas.
Wait. Is your fuck you that you're not gonna win the lottery?
Yeah.
My fuck you is that someone had to win at the place that I go to.
And he wasn't there when they won, so
Can I
he
do my
couldn't
minute?
steal the ticket.
Yes.
Can I do my minute, bitch?
Hurry
Fuck
up.
you.
Fuck you. My hype this week goes to The Surge 2. I don't know why, because I'm not going to
Wow.
play it for a while.
That's weird.
I've got
That's
too
weird.
many games to play, but like I don't know what it is about that game, but like something about that, just like the style, the atmosphere, and I never played the first one, but I heard good things about it.
The
Like,
fact that it's easier than Sekiro.
that too, sure, yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff about that game that just seems really appealing to me, but I'm not going to play it for a while because I got a lot of stuff.
It's
to play.
not getting great reviews.
I know,
Just
but
saying.
but like neither is Greedfall, and I'm loving it. So reviews ain't everything, okay?
Well, they're worse than Greedfall, but you're right.
My sweat this week goes to the whole Batman situation. Like we talked about earlier, like I'm super like I don't know a ton about the Court of Owls, but I did some reading up on it and stuff, and it sounds really fucking interesting. And
Wait. Did you do reading up on it without actually just like reading a book?
Yeah, I did.
You should just read the fucking book. It's really good.
Do you have
Okay,
it?
how do
have
you
it?
get comic books? Come on.
I don't even.
How do you get comic books?
Who reads a comic? Where do you find a comic book? Like half price book?
What is paper?
But you know,
Is that a serious question?
my thank you this week goes to Robin. She's been playing Borderlands 3 with me. That's probably the only way I was going to get all the way through that game, and I'm having a blast playing cooperatively with her. In fact, I've actually never played Borderlands cooperatively with anybody. So the past 2 Saturdays, we've spent about 5 or 6 hours just straight playing Borderlands 3. I didn't talk about it tonight because we had a lot on the docket, but I'm going to try and bring it up next week. So I'll be plenty far into the game next week when I bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been a lot of fun.
At any point, does the game get good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Nolan. Jesus Christ. My fuck you of the week goes to the small subset of people out there who are using their anger over the whole faction situation to say they want to boycott The Last of Us 2.
Literally Carlos.
Nick,
Literally,
Nick, you realize not a single one of those people is not going to buy.
I know, which is why the fact that they're even suggesting that as a thing is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Carlos.
As much as it sucks that the factions is not a part of The Last of Us 2, come on, guys. Come on. The Last of Us 2, that is not the reason most people play
Like,
The
I
Last
believe
of Us.
him when he says he's not going to buy it now. Though.
No, I believe him too. Fuck him.
Why are you offended?
Oh, first of all, you made this about Carlos.
Do you have
I
a
was just leaning
tattoo?
into, I was
Do you have
just-
a tattoo?
I was just leaning into the skit. I'm just
Do
telling.
you think Ellie's more popular than Laura Croft?
Are you trying to make me look like? I'm just saying. I'm
I
not
mean,
talking
she's
about
more
Carlos.
lesbian than Laura Croft.
I'm not talking about Carlos. I can ignore
which
Carlos
is a
easily
benefit.
enough. You know what? Fine. I'm gonna shift my fuck you of the week. My fuck you of the week is actually to getting Fear running on my PC.
What's wrong with getting fear?
If you,
I don't know
That game-
what your trouble is.
I'll tell you what the
is the
trouble
PC on?
is, dude. First of all, fuck you.
I think I remember having some weird issues where I had to like
Fear. I've
get
looked.
some sort of
I've done some research.
windowed
Fear
hack or something.
specifically, Fear specifically has problems on Windows 7, 8, and 10.
It's a lot of Windows.
I know.
No, you got to play it on Windows 9.
Windows 7, 8, and 10. If you have a Logitech anything plugged into the computer.
That's not true though, because
Dude, I found it on like 10 different
I
message
played
boards.
it on Windows 7 and 10 with a Logitech.
Good for you. I didn't say it affected everybody, but I'm saying it's affected some people. there's like a certain mixture of elements that when they come together with the Logitech thing in there, the frame rate is shit. I was playing Fear. I had to stop my stream the other night because the frame rate was worse than it would be if I was playing on an Xbox 360.
Yeah.
I'm playing.
Realize that's part of the game, right? Is getting it going. It's
am
the fear.
Wait, were you holding down the slowdown button?
I will fucking kill you. Fucking kill you. I'm still working it out. I'm gonna get that game running smoothly. I'm gonna play it. But
great.
people wonder why I hate PC gaming. This is why I hate PC gaming.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Part of PC gaming is like kind of,
Patience.
just troubleshooting yourself. Yeah. And if you're not good at that, you're gonna have a bad time.
Well, I'm not good at that, and I'm having a bad time.
Sorry,
but I'm
still worth it.
I'm looking forward to playing Fear because while I was playing it, I was like, when it wasn't shitting the bed, I was loving it. So,
great game.
Admittedly, I only played for like 45 minutes because it shit the bed. But I'll get it working. Anyways. That's our show tonight, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for hanging out. If you're watching us live on twitch.tv/4Player Podcast, we appreciate it. Sorry we missed last week.
Over to fix it.
Nope. Sorry we've missed the show last week, but we will, of course, be back next Thursday night with a new episode. Don't forget to check out our Revival Club episode, focused on Devil May Cry 3. Don't forget to listen to our latest bonus podcast with Ed, where we talked about PAX West. And if you're interested in playing along with the Revival Club, don't forget, we are playing the original Fear right now. So if you want to know more about that, go to 4playernetwork.com.
I wonder if that's happening to you.
What?
Sometimes when you Google a problem, you just get obsessed with the first thing that pops up. But it might not even be the issue.
Somebody also told me, and I have a pinned message that game has problems running on PCs sometimes with that are using more than one core. And they said you can isolate it, and you can only have it.
I don't know. That actually is a thing that happens sometimes.
It left me instructions on how to do that, so I might experiment with that.
To only have it run on one core. Yeah, that actually is a thing. That's not bullshit.
That's the next thing on my list, because the last thing I want to do is try and unplug all my Logitech devices, because literally everything plugged into my PC is a Logitech device. Oh my god. Anyways, thank you for listening. 4playernetwork.com is the website. We will catch you guys next week. Also, big shout out, last minute thank you to the people who helped us. Kenton and Soup Nazi, the first ones that come to mind, helped us with this purchase, helping us figure out the microphone or the headset situation. Headphones. Thank you. It's been very helpful.
They're called cans.
Cans. These cans. Thanks for help with the cans. Anyways, 4playernetwork.com is the site. Check it out. We'll see you guys next week. Good night.
Bye.